We ask you to watch over our military that's over in the Middle East, protect those people who are willing to risk all, Lord. We ask you to be with those families who have lost loved ones, Lord. Comfort them as only you can comfort. God, we ask you to guide our steps today. Let us make decisions. Let us be patient and honoring of each other, Lord. And thank you for all you have provided. Thank you that we live in this country and that we are able, we feel safe because we live in the middle of the United States, Lord. But Lord, let us not forget to pray for those who are in harm's way. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, we need to meet with Jeff first before we talk to Dr. Stevens, or?
He actually won't be here today, but he's given me some information, and
Okay.
if we need to reschedule, we can.
Okay, come on up.
Okay, is it,
Yeah,
it's okay to?
I know you got places.
Oh,
to
you're
be.
good, you're good. I just wanted to, kind of reiterate on that MOU, very, very entry level. We'll need, I'm sure, the county attorney has, a lot more knowledge on this than I do, and I'm open for any input that he has. It says draft on it for a reason. And, our next school board meeting is March 9th, next Monday. If there's anything that you think it would behoove me to have ahead of time, I'll take it to them. And if they don't, if the county attorney doesn't have enough time to look at it, that's fine. We're in the process of just going back and forth, and our board is aware that we're having conversations, and so I also send them kind of an update once a week, telling them here's what's going on. And now I also want to stress too that I understand that there can be other entities that are interested in the building. We are not trying to get in the way of anyone. All we simply are making sure is that we're looking forward to the future of what happens to the buildings.
Right.
And so should there ever be another party that's interested, and you guys are kind of caught in this, just tell me, and then we'll hold and we'll step back. But our goal is the same. We want to see the utilization of the buildings. If there is a work-based learning experience to be had, we stand ready to make that happen. We are working on a couple of other projects throughout the community as well. So don't feel like it has to be this, but if there are any other specific things, which I'm sure there will be, because I'm pretty novice when it comes to the legality of any MOU. If there's something that the county attorney says, hey, here are 5 things I want some language on, I'm willing to put in the elbow grease to do that. And we'll also work with our firm if we need to. Clark, Mize, and Linville out of Salina is who the school board utilizes for just kind of legal counsel on small projects. We also have a membership with the Kansas Association of School Boards. So please, by all means, have them kind of look at that, tell me, and if he even wants to call me, I'll give Mrs. Cox my phone number so he has it.
So there's
Yeah.
one thing that for sure, we cannot sell it
Okay.
without going through a big process and letting almost everybody have a chance. So,
Correct.
and I don't think that's our intent right now.
No.
And so, Tammy, what do you have from him?
Yeah, so, I got a text message from Jeff since he's not able to be here. He said he's reviewed the MOU and didn't see anything objectionable. The students would be covered under their insurance, so don't really see any major liability issues. So,
Okay.
Question I would have is about ADA accessibility. This is gonna be a public venue. People will go in and shop at the creation place, where you have your goods displayed from the art path and so forth.
So before anything like that would start taking place, and we also are cognizant that if we were to have a board meeting in that room, we would need to work on that. So the first priorities would be that, and we would start with the school board meeting first, just as a venue. Two items that I see on that, the accessibility to the John Henry building, we'd have to get kind of an assessment, and I've got a individual with the state or Link that I can work with to find out what that would take. And then the door would need to be able to open outward. And
Right.
so I would be working with Mr. Renfro's class, and possibly Salina Glass on that, or Matco, I think is the name of it, out of
Manhattan.
Junction City Manhattan, to kind of see what that would consist of. If we would move forward with an MOU, April 1st, there is a grant deadline for the Ottawa County Community Foundation. And so what we would do as a service project, the very first thing would be making that copacetic with current guidelines that we would need. It's my understanding that it would be ADA accessible into the John Henry building in that entrance. But I would need to find out about any other items that would have to be put in place. The door, though, is a must. We understand there's plate glass, but the plate glass, it's my understanding the plate glass is something that can be done later. It wouldn't have to be done right away, but the ADA accessibility for a public meeting to be held there absolutely would.
Bathrooms, I'm pretty sure are.
Yeah.
up to code.
Yeah, so what I would do is, and again, in the MOU, anything that we would have that would be by way of grant, before we would apply for that, I would be bringing that back to you guys and saying, are you okay with applying for this? But the April 1st deadline is the only thing that would probably be urgent. If not, then we would move to the next cycle, the grant cycle. And then I would also be looking for other grants outside of that we could utilize as well. And it would be, there's several of them that are out there that help with that compliance piece. But that'd be the first order of operation, and we would only be talking about the John Henry building, the first building on that corner, because we would start there with just getting it to where we could have a public meeting.
Right.
And our Board of Education has a form as well for grants. So what I would probably do is take that form, fill it out, let the county look at it, let the school board look at it. I can approve applications for grants for USD 239 and then give it to the board, but the board has to accept the award. Since it's not exactly the board accepting the award, since the facility remains with the county, it would be the county giving approval for that. That would be if we would be granting it. So we could still apply for it, and I'd keep you in the know on that. And then it would just be a simple letter of support. I think the MOU would actually help with that. We would apply for it, and then before the county would receive it, you would have to approve it. It's usually kind of what that process is. Since I'm on the Ottawa County Community Foundation Board on any grants like that, I recuse myself from the voting and the deliberations of those.
Right.
So,
I have one question.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
had a constituent reach out to me after watching the video last week when we were discussing the MOU, and they have children who attend the Bennington schools for 240.
Yep.
And they were asking the question if we can include 240
Yeah.
in this MOU so that we can share. And I
Absolutely.
told them that you guys seem to have a great relationship
Yeah.
together. So can you possibly make it so that either school district, so it benefits the entire county?
Yeah, so the plan, and overall, and again, and part of this, I've had some conversations with Mrs. Irwin, their
Okay.
superintendent. What I would probably say is if we can get, like, once an MOU is approved with our district, we do have reciprocating MOUs with
Okay.
40. So, for example, we share buses when we need to save Ottawa County taxpayers. Their kids come up and wrestle with ours. So we do have a way to do that, and that would simply just be any agreement. So if we get this approved between the county commission and 239, then I can write one with them just to say, hey, they're a part of this, and then I would just add it as an addendum. If
That
you
is
are all,
great.
if all three of you would be in support of that, we want to see them participate in that as well.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah.
I never even thought about it.
Oh, yeah.
And then the person
Yeah.
came to me and I was like,
I
well,
think that's excellent.
yeah, I love that they were involved
Sure.
enough to watch
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Do you have any plans at the time for the Blue Store? For the Blue Store proper, you know, the westmost
Okay.
building?
So one of the things I've learned is, and there was some confusion, I talked to a community patron. So the Blue Store, the two, and make sure I'm calling them the same thing, the two kind of rooms that are open up in a wide area that was originally slated to be museum kind of area. And then there's a little building, and then there's the John Henry building. So the John Henry building is 301 West 2nd. The small adjacent building that shares a wall is 303 West 2nd. And then there's the Blue Store properties. At this point in time, what we'd only be doing is working with the John Henry building and getting that compliant, and then we would move into utilizing the adjacent small building next to it. And this agreement is for both of those, but it is not for the Blue Store or those two rooms that are kind of adjacent to it.
Straight west
Yeah.
side of this
So if the
complex.
county would have other plans for that, that would not interfere with this MOU,
Except the restrooms.
except the restrooms that would be shared on that side.
Right.
So,
Are all the restrooms in the Blue Store?
In the center.
yeah.
Center.
Oh, in the center, there's no restrooms in the
actually,
Blue
is it-
Store.
Is-
I
It's-
see.
So that's in that small adjacent building, I believe.
I think it's, yeah.
Yeah, and in terms of this agreement, if there's something that needs to be in language to share that, I mean, we're primarily looking at the John Henry building. The only thing we would be the restrooms that would be kind of over on that side. But would be willing to work with anyone to be a good partner in that regard. So if that comes up and if there's interest in it, and as I said, we don't want to get in the way of that. We're just simply wanting to try to make sure that the properties are getting utilized or improved as best they can, given the tight constraints, and we know that it's tough for one entity to take everything on, so.
Sure.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
all right.
So your meeting is a week from tonight?
Yep.
So what do we, where are we at? Are we
Yeah, what
just
do we
gonna?
need to do?
If
So-
Jeff Ebel said he didn't have any problem with it, are we at the point of approving it?
If the commission would like to, I mean, that's up to you. If you feel like, and keep in mind, you would have another meeting too on Monday, because we meet at 6:30 on Monday of next week. So if you feel like you want to approve the draft copy, what I would do then is take that to the school board and say, at this point, this is what the language says. And then I can also let the board know the note of, the door, the ADA accessibility. I can start working on getting an assessment for that. What it would allow me to do is to start preparing for a grant, but if you feel like you want another week, you would have another county commission
I don't
meeting
think
as
so.
well.
I don't
Yeah,
think we need.
especially since Jeff
Yeah.
said he didn't have any problems,
Okay.
so.
I think we need to move,
Okay,
Yeah,
So
I think so.
do you want a motion to approve the MOU as presented?
the two properties, the three.
For the
Yeah.
301 and the 303,
Yeah.
John Henry Building and 303?
Right.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Moved and seconded to approve this draft for the 301, the John Henry of 301 West 2nd Street and the smaller building in the center of 303 West 2nd Street. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
okay. I'll take that to the school board and then get that assessment. And then what I will do is just provide updates periodically on where we're at in this process. And before we would move or do anything to the building, any of that, we would have another kind of conversation just to tell you where we're at. And I'll keep you informed all the way, so.
Sounds good.
Are you foreseeing the grant application for April 1st to be regarding the door, the
I-
accessibility? Is
I
that-
was going to try to work on that, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
And is
it-
there a grant cycle just for, April 1st is for the whole year?
It goes April 1st, so there's a spring cycle that's due April 1st, and then the fall one is in October.
I
So
see.
if for some reason we wouldn't get something there's some other grants that we could pursue, but then there's two cycles to kind of work with.
Okay,
So, okay?
One thing I
Yeah.
might ask you to keep in mind would be, the Ottawa County Service Corporation has a beautiful 1928 Parker Carriage building, and we're trying to figure out where to put it.
Okay,
I think it will fit in the Blue Store except for the height. The ceiling is too short. We went
Okay.
in and we looked. If there would be a grant that would be offered, maybe that would be a good place to keep it on Main Street for parties, for birthday parties, for kids. That's
Sure.
our intent, is to have it available, and make it a centerpiece. And my idea would be downtown in the Blue Store, if that would
Yeah.
work.
I don't
well, so
know.
when you say it doesn't fit, is there a ceiling to take out to make it fit?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there is, there's a second.
Anything's possible. We throw enough money at it, we can put a little,
There's a ceiling, I mean, there is, but I think they better come up with some money.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well-
what I
It's,
said.
it's not just that you have to take the ceiling out, you would have to do a
Be
lot
a
of work.
section of it to make it high enough where it comes up to a peak.
And what I want y'all to kind of keep in mind is I kind of call this the domino effect. Like, you get one domino to fall, and some other things start kind of happening.
Right.
And what I'm excited about is, you know, we're in some instances we're planting seeds for trees that we may never benefit from the shade, but on the other hand, if we have a vision, we start moving towards it, other possibilities come forward.
Right.
And that could mean a combination of somebody is going to use this other building because they see this is going on, and it takes
Sure.
a series of these things to kind of come together. But what I do know is this: I was up at the farm on Saturday night having my iced tea with my wife, and while we were there, there was a group from Newton, Kansas, a group of about 15 visitors. I'm not sure if they were nurses or teachers, a group of ladies, nice ladies. And we are kind of a destination. And what we want to do is take that destination and add a couple of other little pieces. And I think with some of these things happening, there's a little bit of synergy that comes with it. It isn't going to happen overnight, but I've thought about the carousel. I've thought about, you know, our museum. Getting those little pieces kind of to come together, I think we'll see some stuff happen. So I'm not Nostradamus. I don't have a great prediction of everything, but I do believe that the conversations and the possibilities and looking for opportunities kind of builds a little bit of that ecosystem of synergy, and I think we're going to see some things happen. So I thank you for your time, and then I will take that to our school board. We'll start working on grants, and I will update the commission as you see the need for me to, but I will also keep you in the know as well. And then if something should turn on the other side where you have any kind of private enterprise again, you pick up the phone, say, hey, we've got this going on. We're gonna work with everybody and play nice. So
Our
okay.
hands are a bit
We
tight with
appreciate
that
that.
because we have to, if
Yes.
we're gonna sell anything, we have
Correct.
to officially list it and make
Yep.
notice and
Yeah,
all of that
so-
good stuff.
We don't want to
We're
hold
not
you up
going
on
anywhere.
that. Okay.
That's why I think the carousel would be ideal, except for
Sure.
the days of the fair. Then people
Right.
would have to ride it downtown and then go down to the fairground.
Gotcha.
Oh, but it'd get people flowing around, maybe that would be good.
I think it would be in the long run, but I don't know what it would take to
No,
structurally make it
money.
support and then run it and, yeah. the
It's
weight
not
of
that you
people.
can't just take, you know how they have those just fake tiles, it's not that situation.
No, it's a permanent location.
And
I mean, the roof, that
Yeah.
Oh,
ceiling that
looking-
needs to be
could
removed.
Yeah.
be. I don't know. We don't need to gain very much height.
And
so
looking
it
at
could
some of
be-
the technical reports, and I'm not an engineer, but all of the pieces of that, and the weight, and making sure you've got everything kind of put in place. But what I think is a possibility is you start with one thing, it opens the door for another.
Right.
And we just
Somebody
have to
likes
kind of
that.
look at it from east to west, and then
Right.
and it adds to that. But overall, economically speaking, there's some other things that I know are in the works that folks are doing downtown, and it just takes a couple of these things to come together. So thank you for your guys' time.
Thank
And if
you.
you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And sorry to rush in and rush out. I'm heading to
No
Topeka,
problem.
or sorry, Salina for a meeting, and then Topeka.
I got
Thank
you on
you.
speed dial.
Yeah.
Have you
Appreciate
guys
it.
checked the supports that it can hold the carousel, the weight on the floor?
That is a whole nother animal.
Oh, I was gonna say, that's what I would be more concerned about.
And the people that would be in there, you know, if you figure there
Yeah.
might be 100 to 150 people in there, or even 50, 75 people in there.
It's currently rated at 10 pounds per square foot, and it needs to be about 100 pounds per square foot by having a support beam in one of those areas, but depending on how it's engineered and put into play. But that could be the thing that other folks come to the table on, so.
Now,
Yeah.
is that something Mr. Renfro can do? Just
I don't
kidding.
know if we're gonna be able to do that, but you know what, hey, we're all about possibilities, so thank you guys for your time.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Chairman, before we proceed, I was gonna request that we add to the agenda Chris's weekly report because I did not see it. And request that he come and give him a notice to come, please.
Okay.
I don't care where you put it in as long as he's able to attend.
Is he gone, or has he got something going today?
Not that I'm aware of, I can call and see if he's available.
What? It doesn't, at any time.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right. You don't have to call him. I'll call him. Or I
Okay.
can text him.
Okay.
So let's move on here. Brandon?
I just
just kinda wanted to talk about the sales tax, the possible sales tax increase if it was possible. I did a little bit of researching on that sales tax thing, and I guess on an application, if you have an application, on that application, you can check the box and you can keep that sales tax increase permanent, but you gotta have some support from and we kinda do. It's just that I think she's just really busy right now, and I just think she's got a lot going on, one of the senators, and if she supports it, then we can increase the sales tax. But I guess the commissioners would just have to decide whether or not I'm not exactly sure if, you can raise it 1% for the health system in the county, but I don't know if that 1% increase has to necessarily be the one that can stay in place permanent, or if the commissioners can pick a smaller percent. I think they can pick like maybe a 0.5%, and then it can stay permanent. I don't know if the one for the health system can stay permanent, but I know one of them can, and you can make that into a permanent thing where it won't revert back and drop off after 10 years. But you gotta have some support from a senator, and you gotta have
To make it a forever tax, you mean?
for a forever
Because
tax.
usually, I know we did one for our hospital in Marshall County, and it was a 10-year. I don't know if
On the
that's,
and you can, on the application, when you fill out the application for it, there's a box that checks if you wanna keep it permanent. And I think that I think that if you keep it permanent, I think that I'm not really 100% sure because I haven't got too far into it, but I think if you do less, then I think the commissioners, and I'm not for sure, but I think the commissioners can have a little bit more say on where that money goes. If it's not if it's a 10-year and it's 1% for the health system, you kind of gotta give it to the health system. But I think if you make it a permanent one where you raise it and you do like a 0.5%, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but maybe the commission can have a little bit more say.
it could be a general use tax.
Yeah, it could be a little bit
So you have
more.
a flexibility of a general use tax or a special use tax.
Tammy, I
And-
guess you're up on the procedure for instituting this 1% tax, sales tax countywide. Is it a special election or an election time
It'll have to be for an election, yes.
They'll be on a ballot.
on a ballot?
Yes,
Yeah.
on the ballot, it's a ballot question.
So then can we specify like EMS that desperately need, or?
See,
Special use.
I'm
and a
wondering if
special
that's,
use.
Yeah,
if
special.
that then you could do where you guys have, what did you just say about having,
Special use
where you
tax.
have more control of it, where you're able to
Oh,
delegate
general
where,
use.
general use, and then maybe, I don't know, the only, the 1% one is really good, cause then it will bring in more money, but I'm afraid that if you're just limited to the health system, then, maybe there might be somewhere else that maybe needed a little bit of something, I'm not really sure. I think I'll just leave it to the commissioners after that on
Well,
which direction.
Well, based on the fact that our sales tax generates less than $500,000 a year, we pay the hospital over $1 million, or over that amount each year based on the 6 mills, as well as EMS, based on the 6 mills over that. A 1% going to healthcare would not ever go over what we had planned to give them. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Unless it was EMS, and Carl's sitting there as a silent advocate for EMS.
And that's okay, cause I know we need it.
Well,
If we
right
do
now-
the 10%, if we do the 10-year thing, the only thing that I think one time Dwayne mentioned that, maybe Scott did, after the 10 years, if they got a boost, we're gonna have to come up with that after the 10 years. So if
So
they,
that's just,
You can,
If they-
you can put it back on the ballot,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
they have to vote again, the constituents.
the only,
any thoughts there, Carl?
Well, we had a short talk, to get where we need to be, just payroll alone's over $1 million for EMS. And what were we at, 600,000 or
Yeah.
something for total
So
budget?
over $1 million, and that's not even,
That's just payroll to get where we
that's
need
not
to be.
even with the raises or anything that putting anybody where they probably ought
But
to.
this 400, if we could generate 400,000 roughly with sales tax, that would fill the gap at least for your wages.
It obviously help, yeah.
Yeah.
And ain't
Well,
gonna
they
turn it down.
Well,
Yeah.
the key thing is it would help our property owners.
And that's,
You know.
that's my thing, is just, you know, maybe it might give a little tiny bit of a break. I'm not saying, you know, taxes are still high, we have to pay the bills with the taxes, I get it. But maybe a break, maybe if my taxes went up $2 and we were able to generate that to help them. You know,
Right.
it's not a lot, but it's
No.
still something. But I think that would be left up to, you know, you guys.
Last
Kind of.
year, was that the first year that they didn't tax food? Or is it this year?
This year.
Yeah, so we don't really know what our sales tax might generate less.
No, so that's just the state sales tax, so you still have
The
your
1%.
city and county.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, oh, you're still saying we still get our full 1% on
Right,
food?
yeah.
Okay.
It's just the state.
Okay,
tax
that's
tax.
good. I was like, how's that gonna impact us? Okay. I think we got a little bit more than budgeted last year on sales tax. I
We
think-
always try to budget underneath what we think it's gonna be. We hope to never budget over what we actually get. So I would absolutely assume yes.
I think we got like 450 and we budgeted 400, so that was good.
It's just, you know,
Okay,
I
so
think,
how quickly do we have to move to get this on?
You mean get on the ballot for
Like
November?
November, yeah.
This
Is that
would need to
possible?
start with the county attorney.
Do you still see that as feasible for November?
I didn't say it was feasible for
Oh,
November.
okay.
Yeah, I'm
As the
assuming-
election officer.
Yeah, yeah, we need to start with the county attorney, cause I don't know how much stuff we have in place, and I don't know what it's looking like in the states. You know, if we get on it, yeah, there's still time to get stuff in November, I believe, but without looking at the law, I don't know what, usually there's publications and things like that you have to wait a certain number of days. But this would need to start with the attorney's office.
Okay. So, I guess we need to have him on next week.
Okay.
We could probably go ahead and tell him we would like him to research it this week, so know
Okay,
what
if you wanna pass that to him.
what we're gonna ask,
Mhm.
and to give us some background information on that tax.
I can do that.
Okay.
I just feel like that's something that maybe we should now. you know,
I agree.
Look,
Yeah.
look,
Yeah, I do
look
too.
towards just a little bit.
Yeah.
And just one more thing. I know you guys are working with Dr. Stevens. I did hear though, and this is just this, I don't know what it all affects, but I heard that the school board had to decrease their budget next, or minus like 250,000 that they are gonna lose at the school, like some funding for the school. Like maybe into next year, you know, they had to reduce their budget a little bit. And it just worries me. I'm not
They're
that
not gonna
worried.
spend any money, they're gonna get grants.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Just so they don't
They're
get
not
strapped.
gonna take any money out of their pockets.
Okay, cause I just don't want them to be,
No.
you know, strapped because they had to come up with some stuff.
No.
Just cause I knew from the sheriff, he had said that maybe the resource officer was gonna go by the wayside. You know, and I was like, well, what can you do? Can the county,
They're gonna do everything they can to keep it up there.
To keep it.
I've heard that Bennington was not for it, is what I've heard. but
yeah, and I think maybe Tesket's gonna cut,
that might be something you can check into.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, and and that's just something that I thought, well, if that has to happen, we don't want the kids to have less because, because of something like that, so if
No,
they do.
I don't foresee anything coming, and I don't think he does either, coming out of their pockets. I think
Right.
he's gonna pursue everything with grants.
Okay.
My concern was what's coming out of our pockets as commissioners, you know, and I don't see that as happening either.
No.
We're gonna be paying the
Right.
electric bills or the
Right,
heat
same
bills.
thing we were paying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
And that's just it, I just had heard that, and I was like, well, I don't want them to be stressed
No,
for,
Right, valid concern.
Yep,
so.
all
okay,
right,
That's
thank
it.
you.
Yep.
Carl, you have anything you wanna?
You guys were talking about the,
Oh,
Yeah.
Carl, you have to go to the tape.
Yeah, they wanna know who Carl is. Now you're on TV.
I'm just, I had thought, where the discussions they're having at the federal and the state level as far as the taxes and property taxes and all that. How's that, I mean, we're talking about looking at adding maybe something here, I don't know if there's gonna be something added already, another sales tax or something due to what they're doing at the state and federal level or
What
not.
was the,
I'm sorry, say that again, you're believing that they're gonna increase the state?
Well, the
Tax?
state, right, is wanting to cut property taxes, right?
For us,
Yeah, it's a
for
minimum
us,
of-
that affects
So
us.
that money's gotta be made up somewhere. Everybody wants everybody wants it cut, but the problem is,
They don't wanna,
it's still gotta be funded from somewhere, and from what I understand, they're talking about a sales tax to make up the difference.
At the local level or at the
Well, it'd
state
be
level?
for the state,
Yeah.
but
But the state doesn't get that much of our property taxes. Tammy, isn't it a fairly small percentage?
So the state was getting 1.5%, that will go away this next year.
How
Yeah,
much?
so they're
The
not,
1.5, sorry, I said percent, mills, the state usually has 1.5 mills that they
1.5
receive
mils.
for the state building, and off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of the other one, but that is going away.
in 2026, right?
Yes, so there'll be
Yeah.
no 1.5 mills for the state.
So they really don't, the state doesn't get any property tax money, revenues now.
After this, yeah.
After this
Yeah,
year.
in 2026 going forward. So I guess back to your question, you're thinking the state is gonna try to make up revenue for them via a sales tax?
well, whatever they're collecting now is gonna have to be, I mean, they're spending it now.
The do they collect 6.5? Is that right?
1.5,
Who?
wouldn't it?
The
No,
state?
for the sales
State.
taxes.
Oh,
The
sales
state-
tax,
I
okay,
think it-
yeah.
I think it's 6.5.
And I obviously didn't come ready to talk about this,
No, I
but it's made me wondering, you know, where we're talking about, what I've
Sure.
been reading and what have you.
Well,
I mean, you eliminate a tax from somewhere, and unless you eliminate something that's
Expense.
getting tax money,
Expense.
you've gotta
were you
make
up
it
at
up
the
somewhere
meeting
else.
yesterday, or Saturday at school? I can't
No.
remember. Okay. Well, they talked about all that could and could not happen, and then at the end it says, well, it has to go to the Senate too still, so I don't know if they'll change
Were
it.
you up there, Dwayne,
I was.
during that part of the conversation?
Yes.
I know you
My-
came in a
My
little.
takeaway was
I
that
don't think
they
he's
didn't
there
see
for that.
anything coming out of the legislation that was going to help property tax.
Well, that was my specific question. Is there any bill being discussed that gives tax relief to the counties? And they both
Shook their
said
head.
no.
Oh, not to the counties, no.
Yeah, because of the 18 critical services, and they have a new local tax forum group to
Yeah.
kind of address the county needs. But yeah, so were you there when they said that so Don out of the House was saying they put to the Senate a bill with a 3% cap on the budget dollars.
Right.
And if you went over that 3%, then you had to publish it and people could petition, and if they, at 10% of the people petitioned
You have to
against
cut it back.
you have to roll back to the 3%. So I went home and I calculated the 3%, and it's only $266,000. So that's not a lot of cushion on a $8.8 million
Yeah.
budget. And then the Senate side of it, that all she said, Senator Bowers didn't expand on it too much,
Right.
but she said it was a 3% cap on assessed valuation. She didn't really say if it's individual properties
Right.
or if it's overall. I mean,
Just
did you?
confused a little bit about it. I
Yeah,
was.
she didn't go
Yeah.
into detail like Dawn did, but but the main thing is both of them have to swap bills now,
Right.
and
Yeah.
we'll see what they come out with. But you're right. If we don't reduce services, it's gonna increase the mill levy, and potentially we have to prepare two budgets. One at 3%. If we need to go over 3%, we'd have to prepare two budgets. So if this petition came in, we'd have to be ready for the
But-
next one.
And that's gonna do away with
R&R.
R&R.
Yeah. So that's the good
Well,
side
but
of
that
it.
hurts, that one gal, that probably makes her sad if they get away from R&R.
So that's the good side of it. But yeah, it was good that they talked a lot about it.
Right.
But it was, everything's still up in the air, but it's something for us to remember. Some people said they're already working on budgets now, so it's hard to believe we're 2 months in and we're already looking for budgets for 2027. But I
Well,
guess
it's just like a boat. I didn't realize how long or how much was in process to get something on a ballot, so.
Well, Tammy, when is I know you gave us a budget scheduled last year, when is our first talk about budget?
I have not, I was gonna work on the calendar today.
Oh, okay.
Or not today, this week.
We're very fortunate, you always give it to us, so.
Yeah, so I usually start way early so I can get our dates in that we want.
Yeah, this is,
So
this is
this is a
2
little-
months
this
in,
is-
it's hard to imagine we could predict.
Yep, I already have it on my radar for this week to work on, cause I wanna be
Good.
able to schedule, that's why we have actually on the agenda today to discuss it, so I have to make sure before I do the schedule, who we're working with.
I
So
see.
Okay,
I've already started that process.
well, thanks, Carl.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, appreciate
anytime
that.
you,
Well, anybody listening, that probably is a pretty big shocker to hear that kind of money. But as I
What
keep
kind of
telling,
money are you talking about that we
Wages.
could?
for wages for EMS for the county.
Oh,
But the fact, and we're not alone, this county is not alone. They're dealing with
Oh,
it
no.
across the country.
well, when we
Um,
met with the regional commissioners and we talked specifically about EMS,
Yeah.
and
They were all-
they were all extra high dollars to
You know,
provide the
everybody
service.
has gotten used to
Response.
volunteer agency
Oh,
that
I'm
costs
sorry.
little to nothing.
right,
And just
those
has
days
never
are over.
moved away from that. And so, all of a sudden, I say all of a sudden, it's been getting there for years, but it's got to the point where something's gotta happen.
Well, good
And
examples,
everybody's
Meltonville.
got their pants down right now.
What
because-
happened to Meltonville? I mean, they had one of the nicest
Facilities.
facilities ever and the volunteers, but it's over.
Well, I think they didn't have the volunteers, I think.
They don't now, but they
I'm
did.
being told
Yeah.
Clifton's
Yeah.
turning theirs over now.
At one time, they had a wonderful deal with a lot of volunteers.
Clifton or
They were
Clyde,
probably-
one of the two.
And that's how
but-
they got that beautiful
Yeah,
building.
but then people get older, and everybody, younger kids don't come back, people don't wanna do it.
Volunteer.
Well, they want to, but they're not. young
That's
enough.
to be honest though, it is expecting a lot for our firemen,
Yeah,
that as a call goes out anytime, the volunteer fire departments and they respond. It's a huge deal.
And these are just, we're talking money just to get people in the door.
yeah, we're not
Like
talking.
you alluded to, this is the money that what I had sent out is just kinda trying to get up to an average. It's not even what people are
Getting
paying
paid
that are
in
at the,
anywhere else, probably,
Yeah.
Salina.
yeah,
for
well,
sure,
definitely
yeah.
not Salina or Dixon
Yeah.
County, or even Republic County. And I don't know how much, the wind farm, I've got them to acknowledge has helped them up there.
Right.
Well, that's what amazed me, as much as we
Um,
hated wind farms, how they generate
But
like $1 million.
they pay pretty well up there, in Republic
They
County,
lost
but.
that is no more.
They lost the
Like-
subsidy of
Yeah.
the wind
Wow.
farms?
In Lincoln, they did, so they got the little bit of money that they saved back.
How'd they lose it?
We
Oh,
don't get
you
that.
better
Oh.
come up beside the car.
Sorry. So they lost the subsidies through the state, and so when they lost the subsidies through the state, then is what happened is then the companies went to the counties and said, we've lost it, so now we're not gonna pay it.
That was in Lincoln County specifically?
Well, in Lincoln so far with their wind farm, I haven't talked to,
Other
my cousin's a
counties?
commissioner in Concordia, and I haven't talked to him yet if that's started to happen with them yet. But I do know that Lincoln's, they're not getting, from the little bit of kickback that they got from the companies, since the state cut it, they're not giving it.
I wonder if
So-
that's because of the age of that band out there.
And I'm
I
thinking,
wonder if they can't stop in the middle of 2026 though,
no,
because.
it'll be for the next,
2027.
Yeah.
So they were
Next.
notified.
They were
that
notified that-
2027, they wouldn't get the sub, because I
Yeah.
was like, you can't do that to the budget, to the.
yeah, they were
taxpayer.
notified, and then,
Okay,
then they were,
thank you both.
Yeah. Valuable insight.
Are you caught up? Typing? Okay.
Disheartening, but it's been valuable insight.
All right, so let's move on to number 3.
Scott Lloyd engagement letter.
Yeah,
So what I have before you guys, before the commission is the engagement letter for Scott Lloyd. They are the group that does our budget every year. So just a few things on that. The price has not changed. And they give a list of the things that they will do, including communication, drafting budgets, and the 5 meetings to present the budgets. So once you guys approve that, I can put together the calendar that includes all of that. The only change is this year, they are changing it to, before we paid one fee that covered the county and the fire districts. It is no longer the case. All special districts, so each fire district would cost an additional $1,000.
Well,
to do the budget.
You know, you mentioned that, and so I pulled the letter from last year, and it says exactly the same thing. Like the 2025 letter, it says for Ottawa County, there's no mention of the fire districts in this one, nor in this one.
Right, so they just consider Ottawa County's budget as Ottawa County and the fire districts, but they're fighting the more budgets they're doing that they really need to start charging for them. So any special districts are an extra $1,000, and there would be a separate engagement letter for those.
Are you
If you
surprised they
choose to do
didn't
that.
specify that? I mean,
No.
because, well,
They did whatever budgets Ottawa County needed for the county, so you guys as Ottawa County, or us as Ottawa County, it was the county and the fire districts. So they never specified out special districts, they just did them for everybody. And, so they are having to change the way they do things, now from going forward.
so they communicated that to you, but not in the letter. Because,
The letter that we have for this year is for Ottawa County, and that now means Ottawa County budget only.
wow, that shocks me that they wouldn't, specify that if the letter in 2025,
Again, that letter is for whatever budgets Ottawa County needed, and at the time, it was Ottawa County needed our budgets and fire districts. So when they were saying Ottawa County in 2025, they were referring to any budgets Ottawa County needed done for the county,
right?
which included the fire districts. So this year specifically, they are going to spell them out separately.
I knew that it was, I knew that he wasn't planning on doing the fire districts before, kinda got surprised by it.
Yeah,
So this one says 2025 Ottawa County, and we approve the combined fire districts. And this one, again, says Ottawa County.
okay, so, again, if you guys choose to go with them with the special districts, there'll be separate engagement letters for the fire districts.
I know, I'm just disappointed that they communicated that to you, but it's not specified in this letter.
Well, I mean, they told her, and so she told us, I don't,
Well, cause the letter is saying just now Ottawa County.
It did,
themselves.
that's exactly what it said last year.
Right, because before they were just going ahead and doing like, they considered your fire districts as part of the county budgets that you needed to do, and that's.
it was
and
verbiage.
Like Scott said, in the past, they were kind of blindsided a few years ago about having to do them, and they just have done them for us and considered them part of the county's budget at one fee, and they can no longer do that.
Okay, so, do we need to, think about the fire districts paying their own?
Well, the fire district, each one is just one fund, and I met with all the fire districts and helped them prepare theirs. So I'm willing to do that, to save the fire districts $1,000 each. You can review them, but I met with each of the fire district chiefs and the treasurers and went through them. Do you remember what the fire district budgets look like? They're just one fund each?
Right, I know. I don't have a problem with you doing the fire districts.
I think, if we can save them, especially if it's this year, they wouldn't have budgeted that $1,000. And for some fire departments, $1,000 is a lot of money,
No, that's fine.
so I'll agree to do that. The only other thing is, I know some, counties have whoever does their audit also does their budget preparation. Do you think we pay, I think, $25,000 for our Lindbergh Vogel to do the budget.
Well, I'll tell you
I'm
what-
sorry,
Right,
audited
for the
financials,
audit.
and then we pay another $25,000 for, Scott Lloyd to do the
Well, I'll tell you, when we had them do it,
Lindbergh Vogel.
yeah, they did whatever they wanted, never crossed any paths with most of the people involved, and that's what got Sarah, in trouble. They took money, cash, did everything, and just put it out there.
I would also say it's
Yes.
not a good look to have your person who does your budget also audit you. I would strongly suggest having a different budget preparer than auditor.
Interesting, other counties do that.
I didn't like the way they
A lot
did
of
it.
away from that.
Right.
They
First
caused,
set of eyes.
they caused us a lot of trouble,
Yeah.
and it was when I was,
While you were commissioner?
yeah, it was the first year, and so I wasn't prepared, to handle all the stuff that was coming our way, and there were two first-year commissioners, and Dawn was out with something, cold or no,
Oh, so.
whatever. She was sick and gone, and really sick for a while. And so it was a bad deal, and they didn't talk to us and let us know what they were doing, and I'm not going back that route.
I think it's a good idea to have a fresh set of eyes look at it. You know, even if it's within the Scott Lloyd group, you know, it's a fresh set of eyes, but they have a way of doing things, you know,
Right.
a perspective, you know, where if we get another company to do it, like Tammy said, it just looks better,
Yeah.
I think.
I think that, Carla, you doing the fireman's deal, I think that's a great deal. I think we
We did clean them up a lot last year.
Yeah.
So,
We did discuss separating them out this year, just FYI, if you're going to do them, we do want them separate
Right.
and then not.
oh,
announce the
each
other
individual filing, that's
Mhm.
easy
Right.
enough to do.
Yeah, we do
And,
want them
and
separate.
is that, well, that, wasn't that because we didn't want them to qualify for all R&R?
Right,
right.
And so if we don't have R&R, it wouldn't be a
Well,
problem.
we'll see what happens with that.
yeah, see
We
which,
can do it either way, whichever you think it makes most sense.
Okay,
You think it makes
let's-
most sense individually?
I think
Motion.
individually is probably the
Whatever
best
do
way to
the
go from
fireman.
here forward.
And still have the commissioners approve each one individually?
Yes, yes.
I will make a motion that we accept the letter of intent or engagement letter from Scott Lloyd, and Carla will do the budgets, work with the fire departments on their budgets
Separately,
2027.
separately,
for 2027.
separately, yeah.
Separately, yes, and they will be broke out separately this year. So if one district qualifies for R&R, not necessarily the others if they're under,
Right.
Makes sense, I'll second
Clarity.
that.
yeah.
It's moved and seconded to accept Scott Lloyd's engagement letter as read, and to let Carla proceed with the fire department's budgets,
To present to the commission, obviously.
present to the commission. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Or Minneapolis has already been here.
Ready for mileage for boards?
Not really, but
No.
go ahead.
Okay, so, I gave you guys each a list of the mileage.
Mr.
for-
Plummer, you can come in and sit down if you want.
For the
You can
board.
hear a little more. So you can hear what's being said, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't.
Well, yeah, I'm hearing just fine.
You got, you hear just fine clearing the back. Don't want out of here. All right, that's cool.
Scary enough being this close.
Oh, gosh, come on,
Nope.
man.
Don't bold on us.
We already talked about you. What are you showing up late for?
I'm sorry?
We already talked about you. What are you showing up late for?
My understanding was I was given notice that Judy,
Oh, that's later.
Gavin.
Yeah,
Silver,
yeah. I was just giving you trouble.
At
what
10
time?
o'clock, 10
10?
o'clock,
Ten.
that's
We
when they've committed to it.
We
Okay,
might
so
be-
you got an hour and 15 if you wanna.
All right, well, then I might skate out of here, but I will come back.
We might get ahead of schedule too, I can text you.
But she may, who's it?
Okay.
That's not them outside, is it?
I can text
Oh,
you
it
if
might
we run
be.
ahead of schedule.
I don't know who's out there, but somebody. All right,
No plan.
so let's go along with this.
Popcorn.
Let's move forward with the, oh boy,
Mileage.
list of boards in Ottawa County
Okay,
and.
so I put together a list, and this is not an extensive list. I just have quickly put together a list of boards I could think of in Ottawa County. Kind of my criteria in my own head was boards that were not required for a job necessarily, but maybe appointed by the commission or in some way receive some county funding. I came up with fire districts, hospital, planning, zoning, cemeteries, townships, because they're voted on. Health and Aging, County Commission, 20 Judicial Nominating Committee, Central Kansas Library Board, Museum Board, Solid Waste Board, 20 JDCC Board, LEPC, Risk Management, and North Central Planning. I did receive an email back from Sarah Hodges. She would make a small correction to it. It's called the Ottawa County Council on Aging, and I believe that I called it Health and Aging on here.
What's
She said
proper?
that it's composed of 2 representatives from the senior center in the county, and they have their bylaws and hold elections officers annually.
So what did Sarah call it?
Just the Ottawa County Council on Aging.
Ottawa County what?
Council.
on
Council.
Aging. She also brought up the North Central Flint Hills Area Agency on Aging Board. And then, the State of Kansas Silver Haired Legislator
Gee.
and the Central Kansas Mental Health Board.
Okay,
She did say that, the people
What are the
serving-
commissioners on here for?
It was a board. I told you I just wanted to make sure, not all these are gonna qualify for what you want, and I knew that, but I just put it on there. She did say that Dale Richtenberg is the representative for the North Central Foothills Area Agency on Aging and the state of Kansas Silverhead legislator, and he has declined mileage for 2025, or he did decline mileage both 2025 for both those boards. And that Sarah sits on the Central Kansas Mental Health Center board, and she would decline mileage if it was offered. But she does think it's a good practice for the North Central Foothills and the Silverhead.
I don't either, for any of them, really,
That's
but
all I have there.
so when I look at this list, I was trying to figure out which things we call, like what is our responsibility, and I kinda looked at planning and zoning, that's something that we're required to have, that we're required to call. And I felt like the solid waste board is something we're required to have an annual meeting for. The rest of these, I felt like we don't have control over fire districts or the hospital or cemeteries or town. I'm trying to figure out what,
well, we approved the hospital, but that's still not, they can pay, if they wanna pay it, I think they should pay it.
yeah, I mean, we're not calling that
Right.
meeting, and it's not according to our statutes, where the planning and zoning is, and the solid waste board is our Kansas statute requirement. So I guess if I look at all of them, I wasn't quite sure, the risk management, is that what you do, Dwayne?
No.
Is that
No,
emergency
that's
No,
what-
that is
management?
the risk management is, department heads who get together and discuss.
Basically under the
fire
umbrella,
insurance,
emergency
fire.
management.
But it's a department head meeting most of the time during.
No, sorry, I said, I don't mean like department head meeting, but it's
No.
department heads get together and discuss risk
Right.
management. Like I said, I knew this was not, I am not suggesting any of these necessarily get mileage, I just was trying to list boards.
Well, I don't wanna
And it
get
gets
started with
really-
any of them, to be honest with you,
Right.
because
It gets really hairy.
it just gets opening up, and her doing what she did, I don't really agree with, but she already made her decision, and
Yeah,
I don't
Okay.
agree with it, but
Can we
that's,
keep her in place for doing the 2026 with knowing going forward to 2027 that no boards will be paid mileage? Carl, how do you feel about the fire departments? You're kind of in the public service realm.
well, there are fire departments in Ada, you gonna pay those guys,
but we don't, they
Yeah.
call all their own meetings,
Yeah,
I mean,
they
I'm trying to see,
I really not exactly sure what y'all are dealing with here, but anybody that has their own budget, I don't know why you guys are
Right.
deciding mileage, but.
yeah,
Well,
so.
we're
that's
not,
kinda
come
my-
on in, Tanya, if you wanna sit down, come on.
So I guess I'm still leaning towards, I can understand paying for planning and zoning, and I can understand paying for solid waste for the annual meetings that we call. But you don't have to, you can
No,
disagree.
I don't think we should, I mean,
If they wanna
it's
pay,
once a
if
year.
the hospital wants to pay, that's fine. If the fire department wants to pay out of their budget, if they can afford it, so be it. You know, it's not coming out of our general fund or out of our pocket as a county. You know,
So-
that's the fire department.
So going with that theory, are you wanting to communicate to Sarah that in 2027, our policy is not to pay for any reimbursement for board meetings?
Well, if so, it would come out of her budget.
It
which
does
is
come out of her
It
already.
already is coming out of.
She's
her budget.
abiding by that principle.
I
But-
don't know what the bylaws are, I'll just interrupt you for a minute, I don't know what the bylaws are for those two boards, if that's part of it, if that's an agreement that happens
Well,
with
we
the
need
North
to,
Central Foothills area or the state of Kansas Silverhead legislature.
well, let's find out what,
Yeah.
I don't,
You're saying if there's the bylaws stating that they'll be reimbursed?
I don't think there is, but I think we better look.
Yeah.
So we're requesting Sarah to let us know?
Yeah.
Now, the LAPC and the risk management, that is actually a county board that serves for us as a county entity. So it would be something that they would have to pay out of their emergency management budget.
Oh, I see.
It's under
Nobody's
that
ever,
umbrella.
none of these have ever been paid.
Right. I don't see a need for it. I mean, it's
So
a
we can have her
volunteer.
check her bylaws and see what they
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Sure.
first, we're in accordance with bylaws, and maybe they just started doing it.
Well, she made the comment she couldn't get anybody to serve, so she had to pay them. Well, I don't know.
Well, we'll check the bylaws first.
Yeah.
I
That's the
think
first
that's
step.
right.
So I'll say to check the bylaws for that, but for any other boards that you see, this kinda came about because,
True.
Truett came up and was asking for mileage for planning and zoning, you guys asked for a list of just boards.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is just boards I could come up with, and there's a whole plethora of the types.
Okay.
So, it is however you guys wanna handle mileage.
I think we're killing the spirit of volunteerism.
Yep. All right, we'll have her check her bylaws or whatever, let's move on.
Are you guys wanting to pay any mileage for boards other than if it's specified by bylaw?
Nope, that's my opinion.
Agreed.
Carl?
Yeah, I guess we have to be consistent. That's why I brought it back up after the last meeting, because in accounts payable, we were paying the mileage last meeting, and I was going, we have to address the elephant in the room here, so.
Yeah. Yep. So then Sarah needs to check the bylaws of her organization to see if it is required or if it is permitted, or I don't know
If
what
it's
we're looking
addressed,
for.
even if it's addressed, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess if they wanna pay it out of their budget, they can, but I don't think we should.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, now going on the flip side of that,
Well, she
Then-
did,
I
didn't
know.
she pay it out of her?
I know, but I'm just saying, if you say that, then Truett will put planning and zoning in his budget. I mean, I'm just saying,
Well, if they're having trouble getting members to serve,
But that $15 gonna make you serve? I'm
I
not being
will
smart.
I
I'm
will
just
say,
asking.
I will say my experience with planning and zoning boards is they have to know a lot regarding the Unified Land Development Code, or ULDC, and so there is a lot of experience there to make correct decisions for zoning.
I'm in favor of just not paying any boards mileage, you know, like we
Us.
just talked. Us or even anybody on this list mileage. Because they're volunteering, they're going, like Scott said, you know, $15 gonna make or break somebody on their travel expenses to serve on a board. I just think, you know.
Well, the thing of it is, I do know that Truett said, if you're not gonna pay them, could you please put a thank you
Yeah,
In
in the
newspaper.
paper and, or send
List them
personal
out.
thank yous?
yeah.
I think they should be I mean, you know, I think you ought to be recognized and, I don't know,
That's.
We did agree to do that.
yeah,
Yeah, so if we find out about the bylaws, then we can go
All
and
right.
proceed with that.
okay,
I don't think he cared when we put it in, we
No.
just,
as long as we do it.
So I'm gonna ask, who are you gonna have put it in the paper?
You.
No. No, I would suggest you have Truett do it, he
That
has
makes
the
sense.
numbers on it.
Yeah,
You
Right.
guys, so somebody, if you guys would like me to communicate that to Truett, I can.
well, let's wait
Or-
and
let's
see
wait and see what.
Yeah.
what
we
Sarah's
come up-
bylaws are, and then we'll
Yeah.
make a decision.
Okay, so you're
All
gonna
right.
wait and see what Sarah's bylaws.
Yeah,
Yeah, we kind of hold the pattern.
thank you for doing that. And that was a pretty quick no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You wanna think about that?
nope. I don't know who all the members are, so I got y'all all looking at me, I'm going, I'm not gonna be the one putting that.
I know, when I look
I
at
don't
you,
know
it's
all the
like, what are
numbers.
you expecting?
Okay,
That was just a glance that direction.
Mrs. Paul, if you'd like to come to the, down over to the gauntlet.
I'll pass out our new cards. They're like our brochures, just a small version.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So my name's Tanya Paul. I'm an outreach specialist for DVAC. I've been here numerous times for Awareness Month. So these little cards have our contact information for both our Salina office and Concordia office where I'm housed. From our Concordia office, we cover 7 counties, so Ottawa County included. And then on the back has all of our services listed, and then of course all the counties that we serve. Thank you for the opportunity to come read the proclamation today. I know my supervisor was sick last Monday, unfortunately, and so teen dating violence was in February, but I'm here to create awareness in regards to that. In regards to teen services, we can provide services to teens that are 16 and over without parent consent. they're under the age of 16, we have to have the non-abusive parents' consent to provide service and support to them. So anybody can call our office anonymously to ask questions if they're not ready to disclose their name and they just kind of want to get a feel for what services we offer or can provide. We may ask what county they're calling from, but beyond that, we let them ask questions and see whether they want to continue service or not. All of our services are voluntary. Nobody can force somebody to come see us or utilize us. We provide educational resources. So I know in the past in Ottawa County, we've done the senior health fairs for teens, which was great. We were able to do an activity that talked about warning signs and then just, hey, I would step away from the relationship. So that was really great. I think the students enjoyed interacting with that because sometimes when you preach to teens, at some point they shut down. So
Pretty quickly.
Yes.
The opposite way.
Right. And so I have 2 teenagers myself. Learning to navigate that, of course, I've preached to them over the years about healthy relationships and respect and all of that. Very hard to navigate. I guess the things I've learned is, keep that communication door open, help them identify warning signs or red flags, put emphasis on the behaviors and not necessarily that person, like, oh, they're not a good person or things like that. It's more to focus on those behaviors. And then ultimately, how does what they're doing make them feel? Right, and identifying, are you having more days where you feel good compared to when you don't feel good? I think with teenagers these days, my huge concern is just the digital abuse and how tracking, your partner, location services are always on. Communication is nonstop. Sometimes I've seen teens have their partner on the phone just, throughout the day. They're not even talking, they're just on their device. Yep, they're with them, hearing everything that's going on around them. So.
Almost like a stalker.
Right.
Well,
And
that's not far from,
Yeah, that's
Right.
kind of unnerving.
right. And I guess teaching teenagers, what respect looks like, what the right to privacy looks like. You don't have to let your partner know where you're at all the time or who you're with and all of those 100 questions that may come about. So I think the highest numbers are from 18 to 24 in regards to victimizations. They're 3 times the national average regarding ages. And so learning and teaching teens about healthy relationships, they're just starting to get into that dating. So if they get in, they learn what's not good in a relationship, they may continue that, right? So I'll read the proclamation, and then if you have any questions, let me know.
okay.
Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month Proclamation, February 2026. Whereas teen dating violence remains a serious public health issue in the United States, with approximately 1 in 3 adolescents experiencing physical, sexual, emotional, or verbal abuse from a dating partner, a rate that continues to exceed victimization rates of other types of youth violence. And 1.5 million high school students nationwide experience physical abuse from a dating partner each year. And whereas about 1 in 10 high school students report being purposely hit, slapped, or physically harmed by a dating partner, with emotional and digital abuse increasingly common among teens. And whereas high school students who experience physical or emotional violence in dating relationships are significantly more likely to engage in unhealthy behaviors, including substance use and risky sexual behavior, face increased risk of depression and suicide, and may carry patterns of abuse into future relationships. And whereas teens victimized by a dating partner often experience disrupted development of self-esteem and body image, report school absence or unsafe feelings due to abuse, and may suffer long-lasting psychological trauma. And whereas reporting rates remain alarmingly low, with only about 1 in 10 teens disclosing abuse to an adult, and a large majority suffering in silence, highlighting the hidden nature of teen dating violence and the urgent need for awareness and support from families, schools, and communities. And whereas research indicates that a substantial proportion of parents either believe teen dating violence is not an issue or are unsure if it is, underscoring the need for broader education on recognizing abuse and fostering healthy relationships. And whereas by providing young people, parents, educators, and professionals with education about healthy relationships, warning signs of abuse, respectful communication skills, and resources for support, and by challenging social attitudes that tolerate violence, we recognize that teen dating violence is preventable with proactive effort and community engagement. And whereas the Domestic Violence Association of Central Kansas calls on all of Ottawa County to work together to end teen dating violence by empowering young people to build healthy relationship skills, assisting victims in accessing resources and supportive services, expanding community awareness and prevention strategies, instituting effective intervention policies in schools, and encouraging open dialogue among family and peers. Now, therefore, we are asking the County of Ottawa Board of Commissioners to designate February 2026 as Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and urges all citizens to recognize, support, and assist all of those who serve the rights and needs of victims of teen dating violence, and to promote healthy, respectful relationships throughout our community.
Do you have education elements in the high schools in the county?
It's kind of hit or miss, depending on, because their curriculum each year, sometimes we're invited into a classroom to give a 15-minute spiel. It just depends on what the school needs. We're open to whatever. Not within this particular school district. We have over the years, though. We've done presentations. We've had an evening presentation, I think, geared more towards parents, things like that. So,
Yeah, how did I know who to call? I mean, there's no contact information.
oh, on the proclamation,
Yeah, so how do, like, if you put this, like, in the bathroom stalls?
Right.
I've seen them there before, and there's no contact information on who they reach out to?
this is like our proclamation.
I know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Beyond that, yeah, the Terra flyers have our numbers
You have
on
that
them.
at
Yes.
the high schools?
Yes, and for the month of February, I emailed the school counselors, gave them our Wear Orange Day for February 10th. There was a Respect Week throughout February in which they could do activities based around that, and just provided a little bit of information to the school counselors regards to what we can do and presentation stuff. So
Yeah, so when you
And-
look at it, it says 1 in 3 experience it, and then 1 of 10 report it, so you're like only 3% of the people report it.
right,
So that's tragic.
right.
So I'll move to approve the Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month proclamation for February 2026.
I will second it.
It's moved and seconded to approve the Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month proclamation for February of 2026. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for
Yeah,
doing
well,
all
thanks
this.
for,
You have,
I have 2. That way you guys can keep one. And
Okay.
who
Okay.
else? Or did
Start
you
there.
already
I'll
sign
just
one?
start right here and I'll just pass it
Okay,
down.
that'll work.
So, we'll sign them both.
you cover 7 counties.
I do. We have 2 advocates in our Concordia office, so we try to kind of split them a little bit, but I mean, I fill in, wherever needed, so, yeah.
That's a lot of space.
Direct time.
It's just one of her hats.
Right.
Oh, is that right?
Well, I'm glad you've got a presence and posters, I'm assuming, and so forth, information with counselors or wherever in the hallways.
Right,
Just
right.
So
Try
they
to as
know.
much as possible, yes, yep.
And then the
Okay.
sad part, I'm sorry.
I like the idea of parent education too.
Right.
If they
That's
can
what I
read
was-
their child, they know their child better than anybody else on the planet. If they can see something wrong, they can cry and cry.
some do.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
that was
yeah.
the sad part, is a substantial portion of parents don't believe
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happens. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, I
Mhm.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Copy.
So,
Are you guys all here for the, senior, I'm sorry, I interfered.
go ahead.
Are you all here for the meals? You are not? You are?
Ma'am,
Are you Julie?
Debbie,
Oh, you're Debbie. Sorry.
So Julie's
Julie's not here yet.
Okay,
I
Okay.
don't know if she's,
and that's
Are
listed
you
at 10
from Flint
o'clock,
Hills?
so.
no,
Okay.
no, I'm with the senior center.
Okay.
They have
Perfect.
questions.
Oh, good. Good.
Okay. Well, do we need to wait for her?
Yeah.
No, that's until 10,
Yeah,
Right.
she's not there till 10.
so we have other things to go ahead.
Right.
Okay, I have to leave at 10, so I'm gonna go ahead and go, okay?
Do you want to wanna present your question and we can address it?
Go ahead,
Which senior center are you with?
Minneapolis.
Ours, Minneapolis,
ours, okay.
yeah.
She's a hometown girl.
Okay.
So they gave me.
Oh, Debbie, you have to go to.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay,
And you have to say your name.
my name is Debbie Blocklinger, and I'm here representing the senior center. They have some questions, about how they can do things. Some of them I wonder why it's on for you, but I'm just gonna give them to you, okay? This list was given to me. One is lack of response when trying to get answers from Manhattan. They don't answer emails, voicemails, or text messages. I think that's more a Julie one. And there's only one person that they can contact. They're not supposed to contact any of the other people that they work with. So, and then there's lack of transparency. Even though there are multiple employees and departments, everything must be filtered through Linda. There's no signed contract or lease in over 10 years. All major appliances, with the exclusion of the dishwasher and the leased refrigerator, are now owned by the Golden Wheel. Terms of the contract lease need to reflect that change. Excuse me. They need clear answers as to why we cannot use Salina as source for meals if we have a need in the future. I can give one answer on that. Salina is no longer in Manhattan jurisdiction. They have gone private, their senior center has. I don't know if they would be willing to help or
We've
not.
heard that, but, and this is a big concern to us, all
It
three.
is.
We're very concerned, and
We used to use Lincoln, but she retired and they have a
Right.
new person who probably
I
is
mean,
like
I
ours
was,
could do it.
appalled that, it was shut down in October. I didn't know it till January.
Yeah,
Nobody said a word. I mean,
And-
especially the people in Delphus that I just assumed they were getting meals.
that
And
was
it sad.
drastic because
It was terrible.
they were getting a lot of people coming in again, and now we're down to, like Friday, there were 8 of us.
8?
So now it's rebuilding all over again, which is what happens when they do that. Okay,
And
so,
plus the weather's nicer, so maybe more people will come to
Well,
the
they gotta,
center.
they
Well-
have to realize and understand that it's gonna be there. You know,
The
when it's closed.
consistency.
They
It's-
got
When it's closed and you show up and there's nothing there, you know, and it's just like,
well, they're open because they opened, the ladies have their morning coffee there. So it is open,
right.
but it doesn't do any good if you're showing up for meals.
Yeah, we gotta be
Well, after you
reliable.
get in a certain habit of going somewhere and doing something already, you get into that habit,
And
and
it's,
you go. But
it's-
then when somebody breaks it, it's hard to get back in the same,
for a senior on a fixed income,
Yeah.
it's a reasonable cost too. But anyhow, let's see. What are we getting for the money Ottawa County contributes to NCFH every year? We have received limited support when we have been without a cook. We received limited support in finding personnel, limited to no training providing to our new employees. I have a big stickler on that because they hired an individual the last time, not this person, but the last time, who was an excellent cook. We all enjoyed our food, and I think that's why they were getting more and more people there. I think we were up to 15 or 18 people a day, but they didn't explain to the manager that he had an addiction problem and he was a recovering addict, and that's somebody you have to pay special attention to.
yes, you get,
And she had no idea until he had a relapse.
She who, the manager?
Hmm.
But you're saying, the Flint Hills Agency on Aging knew?
Yeah, they interviewed him.
But you can't ask that in an interview. You can't
I
ask
don't
if
know
you're
how
drug
they
addict.
found out. I can't tell you that. I'm assuming he must have offered it.
right.
Oh,
Well,
well,
and-
so do we have somebody now?
Yeah, we got somebody back. She's been there. This'll be her second full week.
Well, I want you all to know that we're not happy with Flint Hills either, so, and we've been very, very discouraged about it. And if there's something that some way we can make it better, we'll try our most, but
Yeah,
we're not
we can bring these issues up today with
Okay.
Julie.
Okay, yeah, and
I don't
there's,
know if Julie and Linda will be here, or just Julie, but,
The intent is for both, that's why
Okay.
they rescheduled this.
Well,
thing.
that's
Well,
good.
I mean,
They
we're
said
not,
both would be here.
we're not happy, trust me.
that's good, because we aren't either. I mean, I
Well,
am
could
one
see
that
how
try
you
to
can be. I would understand that.
go down there, but, you know,
What
okay,
was-
there's one more and
okay,
then
go
I'm
ahead.
done.
Okay,
And,
go ahead.
In June 2025, the Kansas Department for Aging and Disability awarded SCKAAA $100,000 emergency grant to help maintain senior food service operations. Is that something we could qualify for if we lose our cook again? That
What-
must be Manhattan,
what's that,
SCK.
I was gonna say, what does that stand for?
I don't know. I'm guessing that must be Manhattan.
What was the acronym again?
SCK AAA.
SCK AAA, South Central Kansas Area on Agents and Aging.
Their
maybe?
agency
But it can't be South
association or
The South
something.
Central, so they
That's-
got $100,000.
Yeah, and boy, they're really crimping on our food and
So can I go back to following up if that's what that stands for? I guess we can
I
ask
don't
Julie.
know. I don't
But
know.
South Central would be,
But, so you're saying there might be another grant option for Flint Hills?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I don't know. I wondered why they even have to ask if they can go apply for it. They, just go out and look at the grant and look at the rules and see if they can do it. I thought that was kind of strange that they were asking permission to do it.
What does it cost a senior to sit down and eat a meal?
$4.
$4 daily, okay?
okay, so,
And just so you know, that $4, they stuff it in a hole.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't mean that, they stuff it in a box, so they don't track who is paying it.
okay, so South Central Kansas Agency of Aging is out of Ark City, Kansas.
Okay.
And,
So they received a grant.
So they would be one that they need to contact to see if they're available. It's available to individual senior centers.
Yeah, so the key, I mean, so that you believe that grant is when they're missing a cook?
No, they want to use it in the case. These people do not get paid. I mean, I think they're getting $8 an hour.
Right, and then they're subsidized by the center for
Ours
it.
does anyway, I
Yeah.
don't know if others do.
No.
well, they come up as far as McPherson County. That's the closest county that
Oh,
our
included
cities,
in that?
that's in there, the rest of them are down there in Chautauqua,
So-
all those, but I don't know.
We're not in their area then.
Well, not very far away, but I mean.
But they
I don't
might
know.
be able to tell us who to contact for our
Right.
area.
Well,
Right.
Hutchison, they got, and Lyons.
Yeah.
So maybe they can find something. I
You're-
mean,
So are you going, who brought up the $8 an hour? You did?
Yeah.
So you're saying that grant is possible to increase the salary so we can sustain it?
if they got one for here, they could increase
The salary
without
that they pay.
Manhattan's permission or needing to convince them. Manhattan tells them they can't get any more salary or wage until they get so many meals a day. Well, how can they get that when we keep getting shut down?
So they got this $100,000 grant from Kansas Department of Aging and Disability Services in June of '25. And,
we didn't see any of it because
we're not in that.
We're not
the
that
board bought the equipment. I mean, I don't know the plan, but I'm wondering if they're trying to replace equipment and own the equipment so they can start managing it on their own. I don't know if that's just my thought I wondered about. I haven't asked anybody about that.
What's the economic feasibility of eliminating North Central Flint Hills Agency on Aging and doing it on our own? We charge $4 a meal. If the meals are up, that should be a wash. Hopefully we can produce the meals for less than $4 a piece.
But somebody's gonna have to come up with, more, like monies and grant, who's gonna do the grant writing
Yeah.
and all that.
So this is the key, is that they're charged $4 a meal, and even if they could produce them for $4 a meal, they can't require payment, and therefore they collect about $2. Doug would know this, but,
Last time they were here.
yeah, so they collect about $2
Okay.
of the $4 cost, or that they contribute. People actually don't contribute $4. It ends up being, the wash is $2, because they're not required to pay to receive food. The thing that North Central Flint Hills does provide is the food,
Right,
and they pay the
The cook.
$8 for the cook
right.
and
And
manager,
the manager.
and then the board kicks in, subsidizes it so we can actually find somebody to take those positions. But from a county side, we do pay the healthcare, or 90% of the healthcare for the cook. So the fact that we don't have a contract is kind of hard for me, that we're paying these invoices submitted to us. We don't have a contract binding them that this is what we're required to pay. So,
Well, we need to take care of that when they come.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
all
that's all they
Are you
shared
guys
with
here
me.
for the senior center too?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
well, you can stay till 10 if you want.
Well, we'll stay until 10.
I'm
Okay,
sorry,
but-
I have
but
another
I want y'all
meeting
to
at
know that
10.
we,
Who are you with anyway? Which one?
Minneapolis.
Oh, Minneapolis. Are you?
I'm Debbie Blocklinger.
Oh, hi, Deb. I just never seen you
yeah, we need,
before.
so your name is?
My name is Cora Woods, and we're with
You want their
Bennington.
names, Tammy?
Yeah, I'll get them here when they come up and,
I don't know, are you gonna talk?
No,
Okay.
not until 10.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thanks.
Thank you for sharing.
A lot.
All right, so it'll be 10 o'clock before we move on with that, so,
I did ask them to come sooner if they could, but
okay, so, Jason, you have anything?
Oh, nothing, sir. I just wanna make myself available if there was anything that came up.
So I did email, last week you presented about that tower, and I listened to the tape you sent.
Yes,
You want to come up to the tape?
okay.
Since I'm addressing you, I'm sorry. But, so you provided that information, and it kind of made me nervous, like, if they do it on a by-county basis, what impact that would be for the county, for that communications. I call it a communication tower, I don't know what you call it, but anyway. And I appreciate you sending that tape. So I reached out to Senator Bowers, and I reached out to our legislator, Representative Wolf, and said, hey, is this likely? And it says it's likely to be population-based, but there's no guarantee. And it's likely not to impact until 2031. Does that sound about like what you were
Yeah,
believing to happen?
I think this, statewide for K6, the Kansas Interoperable Communications System, legislators and other lobbyists and stakeholders are becoming aware that there needs to be some sustainment cost allocated, or
And
some outlays
Yeah.
made. And so I think there's ample time. It's just coming back to the question of who the de facto bill payer is going to be for interoperable communication system improvements and future sustainment costs. And that's why the State Fire Marshal Office had sent that out to downstream stakeholders. And that's why I shared that YouTube video
Okay,
with y'all,
all
so.
right. I just want, they both got back with me.
Okay,
In Reader's Digest version then, they're wanting us to pay for their 800 megahertz trunkable radio system clear across Kansas. Is that correct? Is that my take?
Yeah, they're trying to, they being, I guess, members of the legislation, are trying to determine, okay, how are we going to cost this, and then is it gonna be a 50-50 share
Yeah, it sounds
for?
like it. My cynical view is a typical state thing, it's another
Yeah.
thing they're trying to hand down to us.
Push down.
Yeah,
And we don't need to know what's going on in Colby, Kansas,
Yeah.
or Oakley, Kansas, on that trunkable system,
Right.
so, I'm all for investigating other opportunities.
yeah, and I
But
think
aren't
there's,
those the radios we just bought? course, 31,
Oh,
but we just bought
probably.
those 800
Well,
megahertz.
I think these are really outlays for infrastructure, for the interoperable communication system that exists now, and then technological upgrades that'll likely have to be made, and sustainment expenses that'll have to be allocated as well.
Yeah,
We need to move on, we got people.
okay.
So thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Chris?
Morning, guys.
Hey,
Here's these.
oh, is this the one we're supposed to sign? This is actual contract?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. They revised it to include the hours?
Yeah, and the months. It's whatever comes first.
Yeah. Carla, did you have a question for him?
Is that all you're giving us? Oh, okay, well, I just wanted a weekly update. I first wanna say, thank you so much for doing 200th Road. I wish I would've taken a before and after picture. Do you guys do that? Before-
Sometimes, just
Yeah.
depends.
I mean, it was a significant improvement on 200th Road, and so I thank you for doing that. I guess it's just, and then when it started to rain today, I was thinking, or this weekend, I was thinking, okay, you didn't get to the ditches, but anyway. So I guess the whole thing we talked about last week was a list, so I can understand what else on the list.
Mhm.
Did you work on it?
Yeah, it's gonna take more than a week to put together a list of what you're wanting.
Yeah,
It's gonna take several weeks.
a list of all the projects that people have called in about,
Mhm.
all the different township people.
Mhm.
Okay, well then I'll try to be patient. So can I ask the question what, so you said, I texted you and said, the road looks amazing, thank you for doing it, and the excavator was still out there, and I said, are you gonna go next to 210? Because 210, did you look at 210? It almost looks like a tunnel of,
Yep.
in that one area, a tunnel of trees, and the excavator was still there, and I was saying, are you moving to 210? Because I thought you could just drive it over there, but you said there was an emergency, so
Mhm.
what did you guys go do then?
We're working on a bridge that's falling in
Oh, wow, where's that at?
on Quartz or Oxbow Road.
Quartz and Oxbow?
No, Oxbow Road, not Quartz, Oxbow.
Wow.
And US 81.
I saw the bridge people going and doing inspections. Is it BG Consultants
Mhm.
doing it? Yeah, I saw them driving around on Friday.
Yeah, they got half of them done, I think.
Okay,
Oh, cool.
Thank you.
thank you.
That's all I
Is there
got.
anything else you want us to know that you did? This bridge, are you doing it yourself?
Well, it won't be a bridge anymore. It's not big enough to actually be a legal structure. So we're gonna change it to where we should never have to worry about it again with the amount of loads of harvest equipment that go over it, so. It's getting tubes and riprap and,
So you're changing from a bridge to a tube?
or tubes, I guess.
And you guys can do that in-house?
Mhm. We can build a bridge in-house.
Okay,
Just might take a while.
Takes a little bit.
All right,
okay.
Thank you.
Well, again, I thank you.
Mhm.
So,
Thanks.
have a good day, Joe.
and can you just come every week and put them on the
Yeah,
agenda?
I ran
I'm
out of
sorry.
time to get up there. I had other things going, so I
So does the
wasn't able to get
commission
here
want
fast
Chris
enough.
to come every week?
Just to tell us what he's doing, yeah.
Well, if he misses one, that's
I'm
fine.
getting yes
but-
and no, so I
But
need
what
to
time,
know.
what time is good for you?
No, you never know. Like, we could
I
have
know.
a bridge fall in this morning. I mean,
You had a different one?
no, we
No.
could. I'm
Oh.
saying, like,
I was like, this is really bad.
most times I'm okay. Other times you never know.
So we were at the legislative meeting with Senator Bowers and Representative Wolf was there. And so Dr. Stevens was there talking about 50-year-old roofs. And I piped in and I said, but we have 50-year-old bridges. He was saying, this is their capital improvement that they need funding for. And I was like, well, we have bridges that need funding.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Well,
Thank you,
I'm gonna
Chris.
ask the commission, are you guys wanting a standing appointment on Road and Bridge? Cause I'm getting yes and no's.
I
So-
say yes.
So Chris knows,
I don't think so. I don't think it's necessary. If my phone ain't ringing, you're doing a good job.
Twice a month,
Once a month?
once or twice, something,
Yeah.
just once.
Can I say something? So, I don't mean to make this difficult, and just 5 minutes, I think is good. But a third of our budget is road and bridge, and not to know what they do week to week?
If your phone ain't ringing, they're doing their good job. We don't ask Jody how many license plates she sells.
I mean, let's,
Jody isn't a third of
Once a
our
month.
budget.
well, I think we just let them do their job.
Yeah.
And give us once a month, and
Yeah.
if we aren't getting enough from you in once a month, you come twice. All right?
Is that what you guys want?
Yep.
That sounds good to me.
Well, then, if you only come once a month, I would expect you to tell me what you worked on that entire month, okay?
That's the plan. I
Well,
mean,
if he comes up every week, we know week to week, like, so the people that are on 200th, they're gonna say, when are they gonna do, you know?
they ought to be calling him instead of their commissioner first. And then we should be the last people that they contact. They should be calling him and talking to him, not you,
Well,
not
then,
me,
well,
not
that
him.
goes back to having a to-do list to understand what is out there to do. A to-do list of what our constituents have requested to be done.
Okay, once a month, we need it. Move on. Thank you.
Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you drop in more than that, that's fine.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Late last week, I was made aware that Quartzsite Stone has some rock, and Chris is checking on to see what they've got available and how much, if they'll
Yeah.
sell to us. We thought maybe using it even in the southwest corner of our county, would eliminate trucking, it
Good.
would not make sense to haul it from Lincoln to our mixing strip back to the southwest corner. So if we can do a little advanced planning, we're looking to save some money there.
Okay. All right, accounts payable, consent agenda.
Here, I had a couple of questions from accounts payable. I did get an email back. I sent it on Sunday. I apologize to Russ that I sent it out at that time. But there was a 12,000 charge in there for the Interpol licenses. And I asked him if that was part of the 48 that we discussed, and he said yes. So just wanna let you know. And then there was another charge, and he said it was for, radios. It was to the Kansas State Bank. Did you guys see that one? So I just thought it was weird that it was going to a bank. It said a government obligation.
What page was that on in the invoices
Trucks.
or?
Well, we signed paperwork for the Kansas State Bank, for the, Unified Fleets Services too.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this was, it's in the government finance department. It says government obligation contract, and I wasn't familiar with what that was.
Be the
And he-
Unified Fleet, I believe, like Tammy said.
No,
No, I'm saying we signed,
Oh.
that's separate. Why it perked up your ears is probably because we signed something like that last week.
Mm.
This is different.
Okay.
So it was for, radios, recorder radios, but I'd just never seen it before, so I asked him what that was. And then, my other question was, and this was so just a quick question for Tammy. I noticed that on the postage thing, you added some amounts to your clerk. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, so the way our postage machine works is we have credits on there, and so as we use it, it takes it off.
So you wanted to add it to your specific account?
Yes, so we
Okay.
have our own accounts, yep, and so if you notice, one was negative, one was positive. The negative means we still want money in there, the positive means we owe, and I always like to keep money in there.
Okay, I
Yep,
just was
yep.
trying to figure this out. I didn't remember seeing that before.
Yeah.
And then I should have asked Chris about, there's that one charge for the risk, for the underground storage liability, do we have a
Yeah,
tank?
so that's, yeah, so we have 3 tanks. I gotta fill out paperwork for that every year.
And they store what?
Yes. So I wanna
Like-
say 1 or 2 is diesel and the other's unleaded. I think it's 2 diesel and 1 unleaded.
They're right out here at the shop.
Yep,
Okay.
and, we have to fill out, I gotta fill out this big long thing about them. I believe they're 30 some odd years old, and then.
They
bill
test them,
us.
they check them.
And so we have a separate liability?
Yes, we have a separate
Insurance
policy.
for that.
Yeah, you have to-
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and the last thing, my question was, so there's 2 natural gas bills for the courthouse. One is Kansas Gas and one is Cemetery.
That would be Keith, the facilities director.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Is
Yeah.
Keith available?
I don't know, I can text him or call him and see.
If he is or not.
Do you wanna contact him?
I got it pulled up
Oh,
right
you
here.
got it?
Yeah.
Have you guys noticed that before? So last week, we approved Kansas Gas for the courthouse and the jail. And then in this week's payable is Cemetery for natural gas for the courthouse and the jail again.
Yeah. I'll let him explain it, but I think I know what it is.
Jason, I did have a question for you, even though you're not on the agenda or anything. I've heard some comments that sometimes there may not be a forwarding phone number on your door when you're out on an assignment somewhere, people come to the door and I'm gone out of the office type thing, call my cell number.
I can put one in.
Okay, that would sure help people get a hold of you, I think, a little easier.
Yeah, I can do that. That's not going on.
I haven't come down to visit your new basement office.
Did you get a hold of him?
I texted him and see if he's texting. Not yet.
Okay. We can approve accounts payable, or are we at accounts payable yet, or you still got questions?
Well, I would like to know why we pay both these gas bills for the.
One of them, I think, is from the line that comes up and caps right over here, and then I think Evergy gets part of it. I don't know, it's something to that effect, I don't know.
Is there any questions on payroll while we're waiting?
No.
Well,
Or you guys wanna approve payroll?
so,
Sorry.
There's-
Look who popped in, good time. Yeah, I have a question for you.
so I noticed that last week we paid Kansas Gas, for the courthouse and the jail, and then this month we pay Cemetery
Okay,
for natural gas?
We buy our natural gas on contract. We have to pay Kansas Gas for transportation, and then we buy our gas, which is the pipeline is what we're paying for.
From the line that
And
comes up
Symmetry
over
is the company that we're buying the natural gas from. So we have to pay Symmetry because we get the gas cheaper on the open market.
Do you feel that, have you done?
It's a lot, it's a
analysis?
big cost saving. We went through this years ago.
Do you know if it's still true? Have
The
you
last time we
looked at it
checked,
each year?
because we do.
It's true until there's something bad
Until-
goes on in Houston, and we pay for that.
Right.
But up until then,
But-
it's a good deal.
And you have to use so many cubic, it's thousands of cubic feet
One
of
is
gas.
million British
Yeah.
thermal units,
Yeah,
and one is,
but you have to have, I mean, not everybody can buy on the open market like we do.
Right.
And they switched this years ago. And
Well,
actually the commissioners did it without asking, they just did it because it was cheaper.
right.
Um,
I just thought, so when I look at this, like, it was only, $2.46 per MCF with Kansas Gas.
That's the transportation part of it. That's actually not the gas, it's actually transportation.
Even though it says units
Yeah.
used, because it shows, we purchased, 254 units, MCF. It shows MCF build is 254.
On which,
On
I
Kan-
don't have the bill in front of me,
I'm
so I
sorry,
can't.
for Kansas Gas, and it shows that and then this one shows what we've used. We had 102 of those million British units, thermal units, thank you. And that was priced out at over $8 per unit.
Correct. This, one of them, like I said, is this one paying for
Transportation.
metric cubic feet in the pipeline, this one's actually gas. And what's this transportation one's actually the actual gas.
But
And they meter it differently, I'd hard to explain.
I'd
have
take
to
a
get-
copy of them and call them if you have other questions.
It's like buying a load of rock from the quarry, we pay for the rock, but we pay another company to transport it.
Yeah.
Correct.
well, I understand that, but I just think the actual natural gas usage is over $8 per unit for that million British thermal unit. And I guess I understand that you made this decision years ago, but we need to make sure that it's still economically
I
right.
think we do every year.
I spoke with Kansas Gas, cause I looked at it last year.
You did.
And I
We looked
spoke
at
with
it the year
Kansas
before.
Gas, and they were gonna, to try to get it all into one bill. And they told me it was cheaper to stay on the open market right now, cause their prices were going up.
It always has gone up, and I mean,
So I have spoke with them. I mean, I try to talk
Yeah.
to them every year. The contract from, Cemetery comes up every year.
yeah.
Did we
And we,
approve it?
and we
Yes.
approve it.
But, are you surprised that it's $8 per
No.
unit?
I don't know how he would know whether to be surprised.
I
or
don't know
not.
I don't pay attention to the markets, what they are.
I mean, that's above his pay grade and mine and yours both. I'd take a copy of that and call him if you have questions about why it's above that. I don't have any
Cemetery
idea.
tries to get the best price on the market.
Right.
I guess I understand, I figured it was a commodity purchase. And so, but I would like to know that when we do it this way, it does in fact save us money in the end.
It has, yes. And it still is. I mean, the last time I
I know
spoke
January
with
is
the
probably
two
the
of them.
worst month to look at it.
Correct. But when I talked to him on the last contract date, I don't remember when it was, last year sometime, I spoke to both Cemetery and to Kansas Gas. And Kansas Gas couldn't even give me their projected rates.
Well, if you could, check with him again sometime. Please.
Every year.
Yeah,
And
I
the
know.
contract comes up every year.
And then the very last thing is, I see that there's sales tax on here,
I don't know, I didn't pay,
and wouldn't we be tax exempt?
yes. I'd say we would be, yes.
So can you follow up
I'll
with that
follow
side
up on it.
on cemetery, see if we can get off the sales tax on there? Okay, well, so, you just look at it every year, when we renew this lease once a year with cemetery, and you look each year to see that it's still beneficial for us to
Yes.
do it?
I
Okay.
speak with both Cemetery and Kansas Gas.
Okay, well, I just happened to notice that we had 2 bills for
We-
gas
yeah,
for the
every-
facility.
Every month.
Yeah, well, one is usually it's a different pay period than this, so I just think
Yeah.
utility, and then it's kinda like, oh, this is both natural gas, so.
Okay.
Thanks, Keith.
Yep.
So I had all my questions answered, so I'll move to approve the accounts payable for 108, 103, and 10 cents.
I will second that motion.
Moved and seconded to pay the bills at $108,103.10. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Okay, next would be payroll. Do you guys have anything on that?
I have a long discussion on payrolls. Can we move that to later on after other things that we have?
Are there questions about payroll that, after we discussed it this week?
Yeah, well, yeah, because I did some research, so like I said, it's a rather long discussion.
Is it something only Jody up for, because we'll have to schedule her to come out?
Well, it's really a commissioner issue.
Let's wait. Chris, did you have something else?
Just whenever you guys get stuff, I need a,
Executive session. Well, we can do that now. Or
Okay, let's
10
do it.
o'clock is
How
when,
long?
10 minutes.
Okay.
non-elected? To discuss non-elected? I'll make the motion to go into executive session at 9:43 to discuss for the non-elected exemption, to discuss non-elected, to return to the commissioner room, to include Tammy Cox. Anyone else?
No, that would work.
to include Chris Smith and Tammy Cox, and to return to the commissioner room. So everybody has to step out.
I
for
know, I'm
Just 10 minutes, sorry.
you were talking, I didn't know.
Moved and seconded to go into executive
Yeah.
session, or,
It was.
moved and seconded to go into executive session. 10 minutes with Chris Smith and the commissioners and Tammy Cox. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Non-elected personnel?
on? Is Doug Plummer back?
I don't know, we'll see here in a minute.
Yeah.
Hi Sheila, is Doug out there?
He's got the magistrate cornered.
Oh, okay, I just wanted to make sure Doug, we had told him that we weren't gonna discuss it till 10 o'clock, so that's why. We didn't wanna ignore him.
Oh, did you not want us in here?
No,
No,
you're
we
fine,
do.
sit down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no decisions were
Come on in,
made,
sit down.
but
Yeah.
I beat you to it.
It's fine. Come on over, ladies, and sit down.
I'll shoot Doug a text, and tell him we're ready.
Oh, we'll get a break. How are you? Good morning.
He's back. He beat me.
He was out.
Don't shut that, leave that open, please.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Scott Mortimer. Nice to meet you.
Dwayne Morris. Glad to meet you,
Hi,
Judy.
you have Carla, good. Nice to meet you. Someone came earlier and I said, "Are you Julie?" And they said, "No."
No, no.
So it's like, oh, okay.
All right, so let's proceed with Flint Hills Area Agency of Aging.
And with
You
me,
have all that, Tammy? Okay.
with me this morning is Linda Semple,
Hi, Linda.
who works with our Friendship Meals program, and also Daryl Reichenberg, who's a member of our board of directors.
Yeah, you've seen me before. Yeah, and Carla attends some of our aging council meetings in the county. Yeah. I'm on the board of directors for the area agency representing Ottawa County. I'm also representing Ottawa County with the Silver Herd Legislature, so, a couple things here, volunteer work.
He's a very busy man.
He is, and we appreciate
Thank you for
him.
what you do with that.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
Yep.
Are you coming in to sit down, or
I guess I could sit. I didn't know if there were seats.
you peering around the corner at me wondering whether you
So are you coming for us to ask you questions or something you want to present?
Well, I think that I got a message about a week or actually 10 days ago that you wanted to talk with us, with me, and that's why I'm here.
Okay.
I understand that there might be, we're here to just talk about the challenges that we faced in filling that cook position at the Golden Wheel. And let me just say that workforce issues are very challenging right now. They're challenging in a lot of our Friendship Meal Centers, and they're also challenging in Manhattan. We have at least 2 vacancies that we've
So let me ask you what you do when you have a challenge like that in Manhattan. Of course, there's somebody to fill in there, but going without meals is a serious situation for us here.
Well,
And we, I mean, not only now, but like in October, I had no idea. Nobody told me. Nobody even come to the commission about it until January, that we didn't have meals from all that time. And I was oblivious to knowing that, and it wasn't a good deal for us. But I wonder what can we do? Can you do anything different? Can you change anything? I know you can't reach out and strike somebody and say you need to be the cook right there. I know that.
That would be my.
So when it does happen like that, and probably gonna happen again, maybe not, what do we do?
well, I wish I had a good answer for you. I will tell you that in the past, what we've been able to do is tap into resources. For example, in the Lincoln Senior Center, and provide meals there. We're able to offer the transportation. Unfortunately, Lincoln, their cook in Lincoln was doing training and transition too, meaning cook who had been there for a long time
Had gone.
had moved on. And so that created a challenge.
So whose job is it? Whose job is it to get this taken care
Well,
of if it happens?
I will just say it's collaborative, meaning we don't have the power to tap somebody on the shoulder and say, get in here and go and cook at the
I
Minneapolis
understand
Senior
that, but I
Center.
mean, like to get meals from somewhere else. Who's in charge?
It would be our responsibility, sir. However, the challenge is figuring out with all the other transition happening in the other senior centers, how we get that done. Linda, do you wanna say anything?
I was able to get some frozen meals, brought up. And that's a challenge also because we have, logistically, it runs into a problem. Like I said, Lincoln was wonderful that they helped us out last time we didn't have a cook. We sent and we got hot meals that came down and went to both Bennington and Minneapolis. But again, there was a new cook, she wasn't able to do that. She was in the middle of training also. So that limited that. And logistically, we did not have another source that was close enough to get hot meals in.
So where's the closest other than Lincoln?
We were told that Celine is separate from you guys
Mhm,
now.
right.
Is that true?
That's true.
So Celine is separate. So if they need meals, they can contract out with Celine independent?
That would be up to,
Well, actually, that we do have a contract, we have a relationship with Saline County. But Saline County has chosen for most of their meals that the county is paying for a lot of the meals, the county government.
Are you opposed to the center getting meals from Salina when they don't have a cook?
you know,
No, we wouldn't be opposed to
I,
that.
actually, they were contacted and it was their decision that they were not able to do it at that time.
Well, I think there was a lot of miscommunication, I
There
think,
was.
between, the three parties, Salina, you guys, and the board. I think they were getting different or answers, and so one person said they could, then one other person said, no, they can't, and so it was difficult. But at this point in time, if this should happen again, they could get meals from Salina if they were willing to do it. Do I get that right?
And
Because of I believe what happened is there was an inconsistency between eating in and carry out.
That's right.
And so if they would agree to carry out for our county, you don't have a problem with that?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not.
Okay.
I would just say that it goes back to quality communication, because we are responsible for assessing meals that we're funding. And if we are funding those meals, we want to make sure the assessment is completed and that.
But you're not subsidizing Saline County, so.
If the meals were going to be paid under Older Americans Act, we would have to make sure the assessments were completed. So I'm just saying that I would not see that as, I would see that they would be paid under Older Americans Act somehow, that those dollars would be transferred.
Well, I think that they were trying to do independent of that and just have everybody prepay $4 a meal and be done with it.
Yeah,
Because you guys subsidize the shortfall they receive.
that wasn't my understanding, but.
So
But
let's go back to the whole paperwork thing, because I'm a
Thank you.
paperwork person.
Sure.
So we don't currently have a contract with you guys?
Our relationship as the North Central Flint Hills Area Agency on Aging is that we are a direct service agency for the meals in our 18-county region. And so that means that the paperwork is completed at each senior center for the required assessment for older Americans.
Do you have a
meals.
contract? You guys are on the board over there.
No, and
The assessments and a contract are two different things.
I guess a contract is to make sure we know that this is what your responsibility is, this is what our responsibility, or their responsibility is, this is what you own, this is what they own, and these are what they can do if they don't have a cook. I mean, it seems like that should be lined out somewhere.
We need a definitive roadmap going forward when we get in this position again. So, I know there's been some frustration about miscommunications or calls not returned, slow, that type of thing. I know you guys have a lot of responsibility over there. And Is this the only fire drill that you had in your area? I mean, the emergency, we'll call it, that our seniors were not getting fed?
We've had some other we've had some other areas with some challenges, but this, this one, I think the communications was a big factor. And again, the Area Agency on Aging, as a direct service organization for the meals, we're responsible for ensuring the assessments are done and the communications. I think that what happened was that there was a lack of clarity in terms of who was supposed to be doing what, in terms of reaching out to Saline County.
How
Yeah,
can
so
we
who,
prevent this?
yeah, so we're, again, going back to a document that communicates that to the board would be helpful, doesn't it, wouldn't it?
Well,
Don't you have, like, written contracts for everybody because just the whole concept that you pay, part of their payroll and they subsidize what you pay, doesn't it seem like it'd be documented somewhere?
Well, I'll just say that we're going based on long-time practices, okay? And in terms of having a specific contract, that's not something that we have. It's part of our area plan that's submitted to the Kansas Department on Aging. So that's really what we're talking about here. And so there is something called a contract. That is for additional subsidy to the local senior meal programs for a specific amount for every congregate meal that we've logged in as serving. But that's separate from what we're talking about
Do they
here.
receive that?
They do, yes. We are in the
Is
process.
that the difference between the $4 and the $2? No.
It's got nothing to do with the meal.
What does it cover? That's a question. How do you figure out that check that you sent?
That is based on board decisions towards, I would say, July and August, on how much available money that we can add to support to the local senior centers, again, based on the number of congregate meals that are served by a senior center. So that's decided later in the year in terms of our agency's commitment is to provide meals. Our agency's commitment is to provide meals under the Federal Older Americans Act for a contribution basis for each person that has completed an assessment who is over age 60. That is just the rule of the Older Americans Act.
So this Older Americans Act doesn't have any documentation of what you will pay for salaries or cooks or what equipment you will provide?
The equipment part is, long ago, our agency provided equipment based on dollars that we had at the different senior centers. That's how the 37 senior centers in our 18-county region got started, okay? Long ago, I'm talking back in 1975, thereabouts, okay? And so that was when there was plenty of money under the Older Americans Act. Lots. Well, I shouldn't say lots, but there was plenty. As time went on, the Older Americans Act funding for the Older Americans Act has not kept pace with inflation. That's a reality. And actually, based on the funding formula that we received probably it was approved by KDADS last October, November, we're actually getting, our regional agency is getting a reduction in funds. So what we've done over time is worked out relationships with the different senior centers, and we said, hey, if you can purchase a piece of equipment with your site or county funds, then that equipment becomes yours, and it doesn't become something that the area agency will pay for. In the distant past, we had a policy where our agency would pay half of equipment that was needed, and locals would pay the other half.
Okay, you just said the word policy, so these policies have to be documented somewhere? Like,
Yeah,
you just said
yes.
policy.
Yes.
Yeah, so the policy on the cook and the policy on the equipment, we don't have you guys don't have copies of that?
I don't
Yeah.
think so. Ask
So,
Christie what
so
you-
Daryl, are you on this for the Older Americans Act, as part of the senior silver-haired legislative? Is this one of your concerns?
It certainly is, it's always a concern, and I think that's one of our priorities every year is to make sure we have sufficient funds under the Older Americans Act. That's-
Okay, I figured that must
So-
be one of your
Yeah.
big pushes at the
So
state.
what can we do to make this right for everybody? What would you guys like? Do you wanna speak? You wanna speak, Doug? I'd like one or two of you to say something. I mean, what do you need, would you like? We're here, we need to talk about it.
If I may, I think that, please, just go ahead and say, I'll be right here.
All right, all right.
He doesn't wanna make you nervous, I'm right here.
But what I guess I'm Doug Plummer, and I'm president of the board with the Golden Wheel. I think that at this point in time, what I consistently see is just like I see in every other stovepiped organization that I am dealing with here in the county. And that is that we're operating a lot on supposition. Now, if I was throwing out a name that I'd say I'm most angry with at this point in time, it'd be Troy Waymaster, who is in charge of the Ways and Means Committee in
Right.
Topeka. Now, that's where I find a significant amount of the problem coming with all of these organizations, if you want to know the truth of the matter. And I see more problems coming, not any problems leaving. So our situation is, we don't have at all the same kind of relationship with these people that we had 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, 12, 30 minutes ago. We're working on a new relationship at this point in time. I don't know what the answers are, but I do know that I continuously feel like I am, and our board is, operating on suppositions about what's coming. We supposed, holy smokes, our oven quit. So we go down here and we say, okay, what's it gonna cost to fix this? And Sunflower Restaurant Supply says, they haven't made those parts for over 20 years. What parts have been out there are gone. They don't exist anymore. That is a paperweight. This big, it's got 9 burners on it.
He's moving his arms behind you, but he's not gonna hit you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm glad to know that, thank you.
We hope.
And so,
I'll back you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
that having been said, you know, we ended up going, and because we had no idea about these policy changes that had occurred, we sat down here and suddenly we ended up finding out that the policy is, no, we're not gonna replace that, and, you know, we could do 50% on repairs, but we can't do 50% on purchase. So then we had a grant, and we changed that grant, and it came back, and then, you know, anyway, we got the stove, we got another grant, we've worked on some things, we've changed a lot of things at the Golden Wheel.
Policies, we need that.
Pardon me?
Policies, we need,
Yeah.
everybody needs to know what the policies are.
Who owns
So,
what?
and do you have any, you don't have any copy of any policies?
I think Chrissy said it's been over the last 10, it's been 10 years, it's 10 years old.
So do you have any updated?
We haven't recently any
Okay.
updated
Do you
any
plan to do that?
policies. We certainly will be looking at that.
Okay.
Do you have a contract from 10 years ago, Sheila?
So,
I don't, Christy might.
Christy
okay, so
has,
let's,
Christy
I didn't mean to cut you off there, I
You're
just
good.
want to stop at the policy, so go.
But
so
Julie,
there's-
I have a question for Julie. Do you have a copy of the most recent policy for this that has evolved into not being able to buy parts and not being able to buy?
It's been some
equipment.
time, Commissioner, but we could find
Okay.
out.
I think we need to dig that out and see, so everybody knows what the rules are of the game.
So let Doug finish,
Yeah.
and I'll let you talk. Go ahead.
We're working real hard to just replace everything that we can possibly get out of,
And that's what I wanted to
or
say.
give away. You know, I think we're down to like filing cabinets and maybe a refrigerator or two, the big double refrigerator is one piece that we've got that we need to be looking at. But we're gonna be looking at grants. And I think that if I'm, really wanna say anything positive from the Golden Wheels point of view on this, and that it'd be that our focus is to assure the viability of our members and our services out of the Golden Wheel. It has been difficult with, not being aware of things, but that having been said, the other side of that is strengthening our own brand here and reaching the eligible members here within the community. And I'd be honest in telling you, that it got brought up here too. Some of this funding is based upon people utilizing that facility for those meals.
Right.
And while it is difficult when we don't have a cook that is there who is funded primarily by these folks, but we provide funding for it too, and so do you through healthcare, I think, health insurances. So I mean, everybody's got a piece to play with that, that cook and that manager, but at the same point in time, yeah, as the ladies pointed out earlier today, Deb pointed out, my gosh, $8 is pretty criminal. And that's our realistic feeling on the thing. We feel like that's where that has been a significant failure. When I sat down here, and I think I brought it up several months ago at the council on aging, we have increased over the last 10 or 12 years our stipend that we provide to both of those employees by 74% in the last 10 or 12 years. I would not suspicion that the North Central Flint Hills has kept up with that kind of a level of being able to take care of their employees either. So, I mean, it's been the employees, it's been the equipment, there's been a lot of changes. The old contract basically was probably, we would get so much of a rent for utilization of the kitchen based upon the congregate meals that we serve.
Only there.
Yes.
Or out, like, that would go to Duck.
My understanding is
It's
congregate meals,
congregate
but I do
meals.
not know.
I think the really hard part is that, or one of the hard parts is that they're your employee, right?
That's correct.
Their cook is your employee, and so you have to ultimately hire that person. Even if they found someone, you have to hire them. And the other part of it, from the commission standpoint, is so we get a bill for the insurance, health insurance, and I believe we paid 90%. Correct? You paid 10, we paid 90.
Something
But
along those lines.
it seems like that should be documented. I mean, documented somewhere in a contract or
Well,
policy.
I think what we're talking about is just an outline of the agreement. Yes.
Yeah, what you do, what they do,
Right.
what we're as a county responsible for. Yeah.
Right.
We desperately need that.
Okay.
So when you say agreement, my question would be, and you all seem to nod your head north and south over there, is this a memorandum of agreement or is this a contract?
I'm gonna, from the agency's point of view, it would be a memorandum of understanding.
That would be fine.
I think
just
that's
as
what
long
we're
as we
talking
We
about.
understand.
have a piece of paper that
Okay.
says,
That's
and
a
I
beginning.
consider that,
Yeah,
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean,
And I
you guys have, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah,
I mean, it's the same as a
I think
contract in
that,
a sense.
I think that this
It's-
takes me right back to the same thing that, there's a lot of supposition that's going here, and I'm seeing a lot of supposition in the future. So, an understanding of
Right.
what's going on today and anticipated for the next year is gonna be something.
I know I've asked you about something like this before, and you said, I don't know. I don't have it. It's just like that. And so we need that badly.
Okay.
And I don't know what else we can continue on. I mean, we need to mend this
I
relationship.
think memorandums of understanding and memorandums of agreement are kind of the direction that legally we have begun to flow
Right.
in our culture.
That's your
I don't know that I
expertise
agree
right
with it. I don't know if I like it, but I
Well,
understand it.
In my opinion, technically, it doesn't sound like it would be a contract. That's what I was thinking, that it would be
Right.
more of a memorandum, either
Yes.
agreement or understanding.
I
But
think it's
it
good
accomplishes the same thing because
Absolutely.
it sets out the responsibilities on the parts of everybody. So that's what we want, you know, and I appreciate that. And certainly, in addition to setting out what everybody's supposed to do, it's just improving communication, because I agree with Commissioner Mortimer, because, you know, I'm Ottawa County's representative on the board of directors. And yet, I didn't know until I read it in the Minneapolis Messenger that we weren't serving meals again. So, I mean, that shouldn't happen. I should, you know, I should know from the Ottawa County what's going on without reading it in the paper. You know,
Who should
and
we report to? If we have problems, who should we?
Well, I mean, them, of course, but us too, I guess.
Okay, we have.
I
No
know.
communication
Well,
back.
we're gonna try to
spoken.
heal that.
Yeah,
We're gonna try,
Alright.
right?
Or
We
emergency
will.
board meeting,
pardon me?
emergency board meeting.
Yeah, that would,
Does this
Wait.
come up
We
in the
have those.
county councils on aging, county council on aging meeting? Does this kind of
Okay.
discussion
Yeah.
come up?
well, yeah, certainly it comes up at the monthly, but that's monthly, and so if it happens in between the monthly meetings, there you go. So somehow, like
Well,
you
we
said,
had a
maybe an emergency
did-
commissioners meeting or something, but
I
whatever.
guess
Do it.
I would
So
like
we-
to-
Yeah, whatever
We
it takes
lost a
for your
cook,
local.
then we had a cook for like 2 weeks. So we were like, oh, we were like, we have a cook. And then before you know it, we didn't have a cook again. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Jared was there for more than a couple.
Oh, this was
More than
before
a couple.
Jared.
Oh, before.
The
Jared.
one before
Yeah.
Jared last
Before
year.
Jared, okay.
Yeah.
So, well, the end place that we need to get is to get along again and get the policies, you know, and,
Get that memo to you, yeah.
both of us, I mean, we need to work together on it. I know that, and I know it's been very frustrating on our end, so.
I
have a
think
s-
one other thing they mentioned earlier, one of the people that came and had to leave, was about a grant from the Kansas
It was the
Department
Arc
of.
City people.
South Central.
South Central Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's in Arc Cities where that's at.
so do you guys receive that grant as well?
Or,
That's out of the Area Agency on Aging based in Arc City. And no, I'm gonna tell you, Linda and I were talking on the way down. It's, right now, things are very interesting in the Kansas legislature.
well, that's a fact.
Yeah, thank you for verifying. I don't know I don't exactly know what grant you were referring to.
Well, they said they called it a Kansas Department of Aging and Disability grant, and it was $100,000.
Yes. Well, I know that we did, meaning North Central Flint Hills applied when there was a call for grants. We applied for that proposal,
Uh-huh.
and we weren't giving it. And part of the reason, I'm just gonna say it like this, right now, and in the past year or so, there's been a real focus in the legislature and also the Kansas Department on Aging giving grants to organizations serving meals that can show waiting list, okay?
Waiting list for waiting to
To
receive a meal?
Receive a meal. But let me also say that their definition of a waiting
Wait.
list and unmet needs, which we know exist in our region, is very full of holes.
Yeah, so
meaning-
unmet need seems more efficient.
Yes, well, that's not what they're calling it.
Right.
So because we, in our region, didn't have so-called waiting lists, because our goal is to serve everybody, despite the fact that we have challenges in filling the positions, we didn't, we did apply.
So how many counties do you have?
We have 18.
Okay, this group has 10, and it's it says it was emergency grant from the Kansas Department of Aging and Disability.
And let me tell you a little bit about what was going on in South Central Kansas.
Okay.
They had a provider based in Hutchinson that was providing their meals. They weren't doing it as a direct service like our agency's doing.
Okay.
And their provider pulled out, meaning I think they were notified maybe first part of June.
Okay.
And that provider said, we need more money, South Central Kansas Area Agency on Aging, or we're pulling out of all of your senior centers. They have quite a few down there. And what happened is that for probably 3 or 4 months, there were no meals in South Central Kansas until maybe October. So as
So
bad.
this does note that this was a emergency grant, and it's distinct from any other nonprofit grant opportunities in small businesses.
That's correct.
Yeah. So
And that's
it's-
what was going on in South Central Kansas.
Yeah, it was
So-
emergency, it wasn't available to anybody else.
Can
That's
you
correct.
elaborate a little on the provider? Did they have a private company that came in and prepared meals and did all this? I'm familiar with school districts, and that is UPA school, whatever they do, at the schools. They come in and do that, and I don't know if they would be something that would be considered, or are there companies that will come in and do this for a senior center? Is that correct?
Well, in our region, we're not oriented towards the provider model.
Okay.
We're doing it direct service, which
Right.
has its blessings and does have its curses.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, that particular provider wanted more money. The Area Agency on Aging in South Central Kansas had already distributed
Yeah.
all of the Older Americans Act funds they had, and state funds
So that's
too.
why, yeah.
And so the provider said, that's not enough, we're pulling out, and all of those folks
You're
got,
at their mercy.
yes.
Okay, so,
Which is basically the same arrangement that Saline County has got, as I'm beginning to also understand that. They are a third-party provider to that facility there.
But not totally. We do still have an agreement with Saline County for certain meals so there are Older Americans Act meals being served in Saline County, meaning subsidized meals in Saline County.
I would throw something simple out. Just if we have an instance where we don't have a cook again, can we go to the store or to a wholesale supplier and buy TV dinners, throw them in the industrial oven in the center, and feed the people? Is that possible?
That would be coming out of our budget,
Okay.
and for a long haul, no.
And-
We-
But
we don't-
interim?
too much sodium,
Yeah, and
Well,
I don't guarantee you, they're clear full.
And
But-
yeah,
what
but-
I would like to know, we've had emails going back and forth, and they said we couldn't use Salina. Salina says we could. We've got documentation. If we lose a cook tomorrow, could we go to Rose, and if Rose says, I can handle 80 meals,
How many did you say?
80,
80?
8, I think so.
80.
80, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, we probably need that.
I had Christie draft a letter to all of our people that they would have to prepay. Now, this was just our idea. They would have to prepay for the food. Salina would supply. We would have a driver go down and pick up.
Who pays the driver? I mean, that's a lot.
We have a driver
mean, you know-
that delivers meals.
Well, you know, that's a lot of driving all the way from Minneapolis to Salina and then back to Bennington and back to Minneapolis and, I mean,
that's
that's
another thing that needs to be in the
that
contract,
is
that
a
you have
lot
a
of
driver.
driving.
All these points are just to connect the dots for us to
I would
understand.
say that we would need to talk about that, if you wanted the Area Agency on Aging to subsidize those
But we
meals.
don't.
So,
See, okay, am I wrong? The people would pay for their meal
That Salina's providing.
that Salina is providing. Salina, Rose said Salina would bill us and we would pay them.
so that would have to be a decision that your site board you would have to have the money for that. Our agency,
Would you be involved in that?
But the key thing is that, they would not provide meals to people who hadn't prepaid.
Right.
and under the Older Americans Act, we provide meals to anyone age
That's right.
60 and over who fills out the assessment that's required on a voluntary contribution basis.
Right.
There's no such thing as paying for a meal,
Well-
but you do make
Okay,
a
but that is if
contribution.
you are supplying a cook to cook them the
Meals.
food that you supply.
And so she's saying, at this time, there's no cook.
If there
So
wasn't a
this is a
cook.
way for us to get meals till we get a cook.
We just wanna know what we can do
Yeah,
legally without any any problems. If this happens again and it goes to an extent, that extent, we have to have meals for these,
Yes.
for these owners.
Can-
And so
The-
what can we do?
the-
Can we do that or not?
I'm not gonna rule it out, put it that way. But I would also say, they're thinking about your idea for the frozen meals. We do have capacity to provide frozen meals that could be available and would be available.
for every day.
But I thought you
I-
guys did, I thought they
I was
cleared
told
out the
you did not
frozen
want
meals the
frozen
very
meals.
first week. The very first week they were
There
without a
were,
cook.
there,
They
again,
were
I
gone.
think this goes back to
Well, that's
community.
Well,
what she said.
in a real world, though, I don't want a frozen meal, but if it comes down to it,
It's
yeah.
better than nothing.
And I did bring up some emergency meals, but originally when I mentioned frozen meals, I was told that they did not want frozen meals, they wanted hot meals. I did bring up 80 frozen meals the last time I was in this, that I had to. It's not like we have a warehouse with frozen meals. I had to go out to different senior centers and gather meals.
That was after the fact that we hired a cook, a cook was hired.
How long-term would this be for you to go out to other areas?
It would be very difficult.
Yeah.
So that's why
Right.
it'd almost be impossible for you
Can
to
I say
supply.
something?
Yes, Cora.
I think a lot of it could be solved if they could have a cook and they could have an assistant to help with salads, with desserts and all that stuff, instead of depending on one person to do it for $8.45 an hour. I worked at the Golden Wheel many years ago. Marie Britton was the cook. I made the salads,
And they paid you?
yeah, somebody
Did you
paid
pay
me.
assistant?
That
They
was
cook?
many years ago.
They may have been serving more meals. The hours that our cooks and our managers get are based upon the number of meals they serve.
So if you serve 4 meals, you don't get any money. If you serve 50 meals, you get a lot of money. That doesn't make any sense. I worked for 11 years at the nursing home up here, and there is no way in hell, excuse my language, that I would go to work for $11 an hour at the Golden Wheel. I thought about it, but I would not do it. $11 an hour to cook 50 meals for this, and this, and this, and
Big
this.
job
It's not,
for one person.
I mean, I had to go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to have breakfast done by 7. I had to have my dishes all washed and have dinner prepared so I could serve lunch at 11 and get all my work done. Yes, I had somebody that made the salads and somebody who made the desserts and the cakes and all that. But that's still a lot of work for one person.
Yep.
And it's not worth $8 an hour. I'm sorry. I don't care how many meals you make.
How many of your centers have an assistant cook?
Well, probably the bigger ones for sure.
The bigger ones, Emporia,
Manhattan.
Junction City,
Just a few.
just a few.
How many meals would they produce?
They're over 200.
Oh, wow.
And how many did Lincoln put out?
They pay for their assistant cook.
Okay,
And so how much, I wonder what that would be. Would it be the same as the cook?
What is it you pay for assistant cook? The same as a cook.
Would it be the
As
same
same as
hours?
our manager, our cook, and our assistant
Well, we
cook,
gotta think
all
about
get paid the same.
figuring out.
but this is one, you did not, Manhattan did not pay for anything for
I mean, as
the
far as one person versus.
Betty's assistant. You didn't put
I mean,
any.
that would help keeping a cook.
Lincoln.
You know, if they
They
had else.
qualify, see, every county is different, they qualify for X amount of hours. Okay, in Lincoln, which is a different county, Lincoln does not pay for health insurance. The cook in Lincoln only works 5.5 hours. So therefore, we give them an assistant for 2 hours to help them out. The rest of the time that assistant gets paid, the center is paying that assistant.
Okay.
And one of the reasons, because their cook only works 5.5 hours.
How long does our cook work? Your cook?
7.5 hours.
Yeah, I think it's 7. It's
Seven, maybe seven.
So what's
Can they
gonna
do it
happen
in
if the
5.5?
minimum wage goes to $15 an hour?
No. But
Can she do it in 5.5 if she has an assistant?
no, I mean,
Well, we'd have to find an assistant. So
Yeah, I was gonna say,
You
that's,
couldn't find a cook, so.
she goes to work
at 6, and it's very-
Well, now, wait a minute, we have found 3 cooks in the last year.
But they've not stayed. Yeah.
Not denying that, but at $8 an hour, we understand why.
Would there be an option to get the health insurance paid and increase the wages? I mean, a lot of people this day and age, especially the young people, want money in hand, you know, I don't worry about health insurance, that type of
I
thing.
don't think they're young people that are cooking.
well,
that
we're
they
required,
have to meet the
we're
laws.
required to pay health insurance for any Friendship Meal employee who works 30 hours or more a week. That's a requirement.
Is that in the policy?
So that's why if you go 5.5 hours, you're just under that
Just
30
under
hours.
that.
It's a federal
So-
policy, so
And
we've
it's a
communicated that before.
Yeah,
So if
I'm
there's
sure
2
that's the
people,
1,000
5.5
hours.
So
we're
let's,
under that
we gotta
threshold.
get to square one here on it,
Yeah.
so.
So when you think about it, just from the Golden Wheel standpoint, like if we don't have to pay health care for your cook, and if you can have, work 5.5 hours and not provide that health care, then we could, I mean, if we agreed,
I think one of the
Could-
conditions you gotta consider though too is I believe that one of Jamie's points is she needs the health care. I
And-
think is
Well,
what
oh,
she's at
currently,
on the thing.
our current cook,
Yes.
But she's not getting, she can't, you have to provide it?
we
It-
provide
It
it.
has to be provided.
And it's
Okay.
We paid for it, they paid we
Right, I
paid
know that,
90%.
But I thought maybe, I didn't understand.
It's hard enough to find a cook to work 7 to 7.5 hours. When you limit their hours to 5.5, and then try to find an assistant cook that's going to work 2 hours, your window of opportunity closes immensely of finding someone.
I can't, I mean,
Yeah, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare sometimes.
How do
Well,
other
when
similar-
Eva worked with Amy at one point in time, she sat down there and she was kind of an assistant cook. I don't know what was
Right.
going on there for all intents and purposes. But at the same point in time, if Amy was not around, then we had the opportunity and Eva would step in for a day or two if she
was
needed to
a
do
sub-
something.
She
else.
was one of our sub cooks.
So she was a substitute cook. And that's the thing too that I think that we are currently missing.
Can we have a substitute cook?
Well, when the cook is gone, absolutely, absolutely, a cook should have a sub that they can depend on. Everybody, I mean, we only work 5 days a week, but still, you get sick
and
When
that's
you
what
get
we would
sick,
like to have as a
as a sub
That'd be
cook.
nice.
Yeah.
And I
But
think
again,
that's something
that's
that we
like-
have recognized
that's
too,
like
is
a
that we
PRN.
need
You
that
have this
secondary
person on
person
call.
somehow or another.
Is
We
that
just don't have
substitute
any idea how
cook
to fund it.
then paid by
The cooks.
you?
The cook's wages for that day, yes.
Because and you still go ahead and pay the person who's sick?
Yes.
Okay,
we have to.
so that's what
Because
we need,
provide
is a
sick-
substitute
we-
cook.
we
Yeah,
provide
sick leave.
And then
so what
another
do we have to
important
do to
part is
find out
training.
whether, if we have this train wreck again, what do we have to do to find out whether we can get meals from Salina or not?
Thank you.
Well, I think, first of all, we have to look at, I mean, if you folks have the dollars to pay,
Well, it's gonna be the individual people.
It'll be the patron.
And she probably would, I don't know what your conversation with Rosie is, but is that a full pay meal or is it an older Americans Act?
Well, it'd be a full
And
pay
it's
meal
full
according
pay.
to Sheila.
And then it would be at over $7 a person.
Yeah, we would just try and take care of our elderly, our over 60, for sure.
Well, then it would be an older Americans Act meal.
if
So
they
we
have an
couldn't charge
assessment.
them.
If they had,
Yeah.
if
Why
they
don't-
have the ability
Why
to
don't you
do that.
draft up a memorandum of understanding about what they can and can't do when they don't have a cook? Include everything as far as what you pay, what you expect us to pay as a county, the insurance, what appliances you have, so everybody can be on the same,
We're,
and to see when we are without cook, what our options are, and then at least we can try to
And
get to.
Christie and I
I
are
think that
gonna
makes
work
sense.
on the inventory list. I don't think the inventory list has been updated
And
for,
we haven't received them from you in a long time.
that's right.
Okay.
And you've
So
asked.
would it work for the Older Americans Act, like Sheila said, feed people over 60 for $4 a piece from Salina if the patrons pay or make a donation of $4 to the wheel or to the Salina Center for their meal?
I would have to check into the rules on that.
So this is what we're gonna do then, you're gonna come up with a policy that outlines everything we've talked
A
about.
memorandum of understanding,
Right.
yes.
And, about whether you do checking on that.
Okay.
Okay, you gonna be back here tomorrow?
Sorry, I'm not gonna be
I'll be
able
here
to be.
tomorrow.
That week doesn't
I
work
got
there.
grandkids all week, I'll be here tomorrow.
Aren't you lucky?
No, I don't think so.
Is next week realistic?
Yeah, probably 2 weeks.
Oh,
2 weeks, I'd
Yeah.
say, we could probably.
Okay.
Is that all right for you guys to get a copy of your, or get a list of your,
and what
Stuff and send it
criteria
to
we
them.
would need,
Couple
and
weeks.
if we want a sub-cook, what we need, they
Okay.
need
yeah,
to
what
do.
we need
We-
or they? 'Cause
we
we may
Just to
have,
kind,
I mean, I hate to speak up here, but we may have to do some different things about everything, who knows?
Yeah.
We're just
Sometimes
gonna
they
have
need
to-
a sub
I don't,
driver
all I
too.
can say is my bottom line is, I do not want any of our elderly going without a meal anymore, and that's, and
Yeah.
whatever we gotta do to make that right,
That's right.
that's what we need to do.
I agree. What,
Could we somehow make an assistant cook the sub-cook? Somehow work that out
well,
where we had
they
a
pay,
2-hour
they
assistant.
pay
Okay,
the
so it'd be
sub-cook,
If we
not
just need
with
to
the
have
other
it
cook.
in writing, everything, so we can look
Sure.
over.
Yeah,
I agree,
please do.
yes,
And
Commissioner.
that you don't serve enough meals to
Look it over and see what we can bleed out of
unless
it.
you're cook.
Right.
Loses
You want me to
You
put
good
you on
with
the
that, Doug?
her hours and then she
It's,
It's
loses.
good.
it's a good start, it's
Yeah.
a good start.
Okay.
Sheila, before the train ran off of the rails, how many meals were we serving on a consistent basis per day or per week?
Probably consider, I know that the Golden Wheel does maybe 60, and then what Bennington does.
So, but it was
Sure.
prepared in Minneapolis, the wheel, and then went to Bennington, so,
I think Jared was doing 75 to 80.
okay.
What about Delphus?
Per day,
Did
Per
somebody
day.
come and get some for?
That's
for
total
Delphus?
with the distribution that we carry around to
That-
Elk
they-
One
I thought they-
Apartments
It's
and
on
everything
limited
else.
basis,
Was
it's
it
only
monthly?
like
They
5
come
to
in
4
on
meals.
about 3 days a week,
and when they just
Doesn't
presented
Tessa
at the
come in?
last meeting,
3 days a week.
Julie,
All right.
could you
I didn't know what it
also
was.
study or give us a little enlightenment, if we were to get back up to that pre-catastrophe time of 75 to 80 meals a week, would we qualify for a sub-cook? Would we qualify for reducing?
And how many would it
We-
take for us to qualify?
Right, we can put that in the memorandum.
Okay.
And then the, if Delphus gets them 3 days a week, I'd like to know, I mean, I'd like that written down somewhere.
Well, I have those stats.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
all right.
They don't do, I mean.
Well, I
it's
might
pretty
get on them a
limited.
little, I live there. They
Do you
need
want,
to-
do you want meal? Absolutely.
I think there's only about 7 people,
Maybe, yeah.
maybe,
Yeah, it's not a
6 or
big
7,
place.
that get them 3 times. And we have drivers come down and
Okay.
pick them out, same way with Tesket. I'm
All right.
not sure how many.
But Delphus has
Thank you.
pursued other options
see,
with ABI too.
this
so-
report that was
Yeah,
given
you're right.
Yeah.
was more like,
Okay.
it said 321 of hot meals for the month, so that's quite a bit of difference, Sheila.
Excuse me,
Well, this one is showing, meals for December and November, and it was showing hot meals of like 373 and 321 for the month.
For the whole month, yeah.
For the whole month, yeah.
That's about 70 or 75.
80 is very, on the very high side. You know, and our meals
You're talking
vary.
about on the week?
Yeah, 5 days.
You're saying for the week, 80 for the week.
no, for a day.
That's what I was thinking, that, but
You know,
that
our
doesn't,
meal,
Not recently.
our meal counts vary, I'll tell you right now, with what's being served that day. If you're having meatloaf, you're gonna serve 100 people.
That's
If
right.
you're having tuna noodle casserole, you're gonna be serving 15 people.
and if you have liver and onions, it's even
Well, then
less.
we need to stick with.
No, liver and onions is a big one.
We need
Oh,
to
well.
stick with the liver and onions and the meatloaf.
Okay, I know, those are 2 big ones,
Yeah.
but,
All right.
you know, that depends.
Thank you. I appreciate,
So they do do
I
liver and
appreciate the
onions.
invitation.
Carter, you can call me anytime you have.
So
a
just to
deal.
verify,
sir.
March 16th, is that
You'll
right?
have to go on the liver and onions.
Okay,
Yeah.
March
Yeah,
16th
we'll
at
plan on,
10.
we'll plan on that and let's.
We'll look forward to the
As long as
roadmap.
that changes, but we'll try
So
March
we're
Look
gonna
forward.
anticipate a
Yes,
smooth.
appreciate
Thank you.
Definitely let's know when we're gonna meet again.
Appreciate you.
We
sir.
appreciate it.
2 weeks?
Yes,
2 weeks.
March 16th at 10 is what, unless
Thanks.
Julie tells me otherwise.
March 16th, all right.
It's nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too, Linda.
We'll do our best.
Not to put you on the spot there. I hope you're addressing that as a senator.
If you can't make it March 16th, I'll give her a couple, 4 or 5 days. Thank you, thanks for doing it.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Linda.
Linda, all right.
Thanks for coming. Good to see Julie with you,
Thank you.
traveling together.
Thank you.
Well, there's other places we need to go today. We lost.
You mean cook-wise
Thank you
or
very much.
age-wise? They have to follow.
We'll double your pay
They
for
have
next
to
meeting.
follow.
We'll
That's
double
a
your
hard
pay
day.
for next meeting.
Good to see you, Bernice.
Yeah.
Thank you for.
You need to call.
I know, they just bring me happy.
Well, that was what we do.
Yeah, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Move in second. Move in
I
second.
know, and it's
for a 5-minute
forever
break.
flowers, forever flowers, yeah, yeah.
Did you say something?
5-minute break.
The complaint time.
Come here.
I know.
Go to the man.
I'm good with this.
I know, oh, it's weird, that's how they do it, right? I would think they would.
That's sweet.
Come on, Sheila.
discuss about payroll. So,
So we back on?
Yes, we're back.
All right.
so, I know at the end of 2024, or maybe the beginning of 2025, and I'm not sure if it was us or if I overheard the commissioners before us saying that they were gonna split the human resources department. Remember, we let go of that person and it was split between the county clerk took the human resources over and then the county treasurer took over the payroll part. Okay, and so then throughout all of 2025, we received the payroll ledger, which I felt like kind of served as a second set of eyes on the payroll. But to be honest, it probably wasn't really sufficient. I mean, and then I felt like in January, we didn't get the ledger. We just got a recap by department instead of the complete ledger. And so what this has led to me is to research the payroll function. And so this is what came up. When you Google this, Kansas statutes allow the county treasurer to be the payroll clerk. And it says, based on Kansas statutes and legal principles, it is highly inadvisable and likely illegal due to compatible offices for the county treasurer to also act as a payroll clerk. And then it goes down here at incompatible offices, and it says in Kansas, when the duties of one office interfere or supervise another, they are considered incompatible. The county treasurer is responsible for receiving, depositing, and paying out county funds on warrants. The payroll clerk is generally responsible for calculating and initiating those payments. A single person in both roles would be, in effect, auditing and approving their own work, which violates internal control principles. And then the second part of that, the second paragraph where it says separation of duties, state statutes prohibit the deputy county clerk from acting as the county treasurer. While there is no single statute explicitly stating the treasurer cannot be the payroll clerk, the principal separation of duties is paramount in the local government finance to prevent conflicts of interest. So I just found this weekend to read that, and I guess we probably should have really addressed this earlier, but because we received the entire ledger, we could see each person that was paid. And but now that we don't receive that, I think we need to address that it's highly inadvisable. And then I said, well, what did that, from an internal control standpoint, what did our auditor say? So then I printed this off. Here you go. Scott and Dwayne. I did get this for you, Tammy, just so you can see what I was reading from. So in this internal, or the letter, the accounting, I guess, the letter from our auditor, I'll just say that at the end of the audit, it was talking about oversight of accounting functions. And it says responsibilities within certain offices are not designed in such a manner to provide a separation of duties over billing, collecting, and recording of transactions. And this condition typically exists when there is one employee responsible for these accounting functions and the cost of hiring an additional employee exceeds the expected benefit. But then the second paragraph, or the third paragraph, it specifically says, management's continued oversight over these offices is crucial to prevent this condition from becoming a significant deficiency. We recommend that the county be alert for opportunities to develop or improve controls and oversight designed to mitigate any risk related to having the same person responsible for all of the accounting functions. So when you think about it, in the situation we have right now, Jody is the payroll clerk, prepares the payroll clerk, and as a county treasurer disperses that. So there's one person doing both functions. So if you go back to this, the AI document, it says in many Kansas counties, the payroll clerk is a staff member within the county clerk's office or human resources, not the treasurer's office, to maintain proper internal controls. So again, I think it's probably something we should have addressed when we first made that decision, if that was us. Do you remember, Scott, when
No,
we
it was
did that?
before you, and there was nobody else to do it. And we checked with Jay Hall, and he said, although it's not common practice, it's not against the law. And that is why we made it that way, because we had no other choice.
Yeah, well, I guess, so going back all of last year, we had a list of every single person that was paid, right? And so now we get a document like this that just shows departmental totals. And
Well, on that list that showed who was getting paid, it also showed some stuff that I don't feel like that we should be privy to. And that is who pays child support and where their money goes and a lot of things.
well, we received lots of private information that we are responsible to maintain private. And so.
So we have an auditor that is supposed to take care of all this to keep anything from being wrong or going the wrong way. I don't, it almost seems to me like you wanna be the second auditor.
No, this is a problem. I am, my background is I'm a CPA, and so when we have a person that's doing the total job.
Then if you wanna change it, we need to come up with a lot of money to hire somebody else to do it.
No, we don't.
Who are you gonna have do it?
We can, you have some options, either that we could have it go to the clerk's office.
Who in the world in the clerk's office is gonna do it?
We do payroll once a month. And
Just
the
a
other
minute,
part
she's
of,
not in here listening.
and,
Who's gonna do it in the clerk's office?
well, I don't know, we have to have that discussion, but we could outsource payroll.
Yeah, that's not cheap.
No, I talked to other commissioners and they said it cost them about $40,000 to outsource the entire human resources department. So, I'm just saying, there's options for us, but the fact that no one
You just don't trust Jody, is that it?
it is not a matter of trust. Internal controls are never about trust. It's always about accountability, and it's always about oversight. I think it's very important that, I am not accusing Jody of anything, and there's not that I have found fault with anything. It's just that if we are not that oversight person, we need to pull it out from under her.
So what is the auditor?
Wouldn't the auditor catch any improprieties?
Well, the auditor, when they write that statement, is telling you that we need to be it says, management's continued oversight over these offices is crucial to prevent this condition becoming a significant deficiency. Dwayne, do you know every single person that was paid?
Is that what you wanna do? You wanna know every single person that was paid, whether they've got garnishment on their wages?
I don't care about the garnishment. I wanna know every single person that was paid.
We've got a total number of employees, we've got a total amount paid.
That doesn't tell me what they were paid. That doesn't tell me, this piece of paper.
Why do you wanna know what every single person is paid other than,
Because there's no oversight on the payroll clerk. The payroll clerk writes the checks. Those are two things there's no oversight on. We are the oversight.
how are you gonna change it? Who
Well-
are you gonna hire? You're gonna have to hire somebody, and it's gonna cost somebody, it's gonna cost more than $40,000 to take over the HR.
I think there's oversight though, because I was in Jody's office the other day and Tammy was signing checks. And there was another, did you sign them and then Jody signed them? There's two ink and one.
Two wet signatures on each check, yeah.
Yeah, so there's oversight right there.
That's not oversight. You're supposed to keep accounts payable and accounts receivable separate. The fact that they sit there, to be honest, this is the first time I pulled up this report, so it's not like I've delved into the Kansas statutes. But I think it says It says highly inadvisable, unlikely, illegal due to incompatible offices. I
Jay
think we
Hall
sh-
said it wasn't illegal,
I think we should take this serious.
and he is was, I guess, the head man in Kansas.
He was the
Well,
authority.
it's not illegal, but is it really, it's not good.
Well, the other two commissioners and I decided that was our only option, and that's what we did.
Well, I think we should reevaluate that.
I can see that
Again.
you have. I guess we'll take Dwayne and I can take it under advisement and think about it a little bit. I don't know
Yeah.
for sure.
But see, for me-
So let me get this straight. You wanna do away with, HR, or
Well,
not do away, but get somebody else to do it?
That's a possibility. I'm just saying, there's potential options. We can just do payroll, we could outsource payroll, we could outsource payroll plus,
I checked into the outsourcing of the payroll, and so is, and you do that, then they're the ones that sign the checks, they're the ones that pay, print all the checks. It was gonna cost a lot.
what do you say?
I mean, over $100,000.
No, that's not what other commissioners have told me.
Well, I don't know where they go, but
I will also kind of give a little history here. So we have, the reason HR is in my office now is it was in the clerk's office, and they tried about 3 different options in the last 2 years, one of them being outsourcing. I don't know what the issue was, but there was I wasn't here for that. There was some kind of issue, and there's a reason it's back in my office, to do that. So I just know.
there was
there's
nobody
history.
personal to talk to,
We
or
keep-
nobody that you knew. If those people were in Topeka, so you had to file a claim or talk to them on the phone. It wasn't somewhere where you could go in an office and talk to somebody privately. You had to talk to them, and then it was a pain in the rear. Nobody liked it.
And I want to say too.
The
this-
commissioner excluded.
Yeah, the reason Jody has payroll is exactly what you're doing now. It keeps bouncing, and then it fails, and it has to go back to somebody very quickly. Same reason our HR's back in my office is, and I just want to give you some history. It has bounced and bounced and bounced, and that's why it's, like, when I got HR, it was, to be honest, a little bit of a mess. Like, that's why we're redoing policies, and because we keep bouncing it. We keep bouncing it back and forth from outsourcing to hiring somebody to putting it in someone's office to back to outsourcing. So in the last 3 years, if you were to outsource this, that's a 3-year cycle. We keep bouncing things back and forth. And that is why Jody has it, is every time it's failed, she's had to pick it up, and she's the only one that knew how to pick it up and do it at the time. So that's why we did that.
And it was wrong a lot.
And it was
when we
wrong
had
a
the
lot.
HR director.
So I just want to
doing
give
it was
history. I'm not
wrong.
saying anything else other than, I know you haven't been here very long, so I wanted to at least give the history of HR and payroll and why we are trying to keep it consistent within the county, because it keeps getting bounced and all these ideas keep coming back and forth, and the ball keeps getting dropped. So, and that's just history.
If we outsource it, then it's totally out of our hands and we would have no oversight over it. The company that would do payroll would be totally in charge and totally we'd be at their mercy.
Well, that'd be the internal control, is it'd be separate. That's the
I'll
internal
take it
control.
under advisement. I wanna talk to a couple people about it.
Jay Hall has a replacement temporary.
Yeah.
I just, when I look at this, and you want me to sign off on this payroll, and all I have is department totals, and I know the person that prepared this is the same person that's writing the check, I can't in good faith sign this.
I will say, Carla.
Not because of her. I
No.
have to put this perfectly clear. It has never been because of the job performed by the county treasurer.
I do want to give some background in our conversations this last week. You wanted a large piece of information, and you and I spoke, and I said that's not feasible when you have to save the county money, multiple people wearing multiple hats. So we are working on getting you the stuff you want, and you and I already talked, and I thought we had it worked out.
Well, that's why, and then I
I'm
did the
hold on.
research.
Give me just a second here. That we were gonna build upon what you needed, and I thought that's what we were doing, is you wanted all this information, which is fine. I still wanna protect the employee's privacy, which I think is paramount. So I think we can get you what you want. It's just gonna take a couple of tries to work out the timing, the employee privacy, and what you're needing. And I think we can do that.
I just feel very.
Well, I think if that's the case, I agree with you. but I don't want it to be 6 months.
No, we're working on it. I told her, we've already sent 2 reports and you guys received them as well. If that's not quite what she's needing, or if there's something else, let me know. The initial request was gonna take hours every month, and we don't have that. So, so Carla and I talked, and we started with these 2 reports that you guys received, and then if that's not quite what she's needing, we're gonna try again. So every time we're gonna try to build upon that and get.
I think she wants to know what the tag, the formula or whatever it is, the tag deal. So if she can get that, she needs to get it.
I don't know what that is. That would be something you have to talk to Jody about.
That's what I meant, but I think that's one of the things that's bothering her.
Yeah, that one you have to talk to Jody about. I don't know what that is or what you're needing. Is it the pay, Carla, for the tag person?
It's the calculation.
Yeah, it's in statute, but Jody could probably give you the correct statute. It's a.
Well, I read the statute. I wanna see the calculation for the payment that was made. That's all I wanna see.
Oh, I don't think you were clear on what you're needing, cause I know we're trying to figure out what you're needing, cause I do a motor vehicle abstract too, but that's all you're needing. I would just ask her.
I did ask her twice.
Well, I think because she even asked me, I don't think it's clear what you're needing. I would include the fact when she's paid for motor vehicle, and I would say when the treasurer is paid. Cause I wasn't understanding what you were asking for either. That's the reason I was involved, cause I do an abstract as well for distribution. But if it's just pay, I would be more clear about when the treasurer is paid at the end of the year.
Alright, well, let's get to work on that, and we'll go from there.
Do you guys wanna approve payroll?
I would make a motion to approve payroll as presented.
Nice second. Moved and seconded to approve the payroll. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed?
No. Abstain. Is that the right word? I wanna abstain because it's not like I wanna say, don't pay the payroll. I wanna just abstain for approving it. Right?
I don't know.
I have no idea what you.
I'll say, I'll abstain.
Alright, what else is there to pay?
That's it for the consent agenda. I don't have any quick comments, believe it or not.
Really?
And what about these two,
Shocking.
these 2 denied deals in here?
I'm sorry?
What are we supposed to do with these?
Just sign them. I didn't have you sign them last time. So that's just a signature, that's no discussion. So, yeah, I have no quick comments.
Okay, so all these policies?
Those are just the ones you guys approved last time, just the ones approved, so they just need signatures.
Hey,
Not the ones that are getting, redone.
going back to you, Tammy, though, I really wanna say thank you for sending that information about the data centers out.
Yeah.
And, did you guys read those?
Yes.
And so, I guess what scares me the most about it is when it says that if it's over 75 megawatts, I mean, it shows that there's 2 major concerns with these data centers. One was water usage, and then there was electricity impact, I'm sorry. And it looks like the KCC approved that anything over 75 megawatts would bear their own grid upgrade costs. Did you read that? And then it said here, but those less than that remain the county level negotiating points. And that actually makes me nervous because we have less expertise than the larger communities as far as understanding and, crossing all the Ts and dotting all the Is. And that made me nervous that they didn't cover us as well.
We don't know what size of data center is wanting to come in. I have asked for clarification that from a contact in Topeka, Paul Hughes, so that he will give us an idea of what we need to set up. We also need to do zoning requirements and regulations, for noise procedures, for what water consumption, setbacks from the roads and so forth, setbacks from the neighbors, so that we can protect our neighbors, There's a multifaceted operation to this, and that is a valid concern.
Yeah, and this was such a great analysis, so I appreciate you sending it. And she also sent out the Senate bill, which you read through it. And I mean, it obviously, the fact that they go into so much detail about protecting the community is that they have concerns about these
Yeah.
in communities and are trying to protect the communities. And obviously, it's just a Senate bill and it hasn't been passed yet.
Right.
But, first and foremost, thank you, Tammy, for sending it. And I guess we need to watch and see what happens with this Senate bill till they close the session. But,
I have been trying to do research on data centers, counties that have data centers. I did a Google search, Hutchinson, Reno County came up with one. Turns out that it's only a check processing center, it's a very minuscule data center. The area banks or Kansas banks will clear their checks through this
Okay.
data center. And that's where it all happens. So it's not actually a data center, it's just a business or a facet of a business, of the banking business. So I'm having trouble locating actual data centers, we're talking about. Now, I haven't gone to Nebraska yet to look at data centers they have up there, but
do they have big ones up there?
I don't know.
Oh.
They've got 19 data centers. They've got they got more than what we have in Kansas. But around Topeka, Kansas City area is where the data centers are. And I'm afraid I'm gonna run into the idea that these data centers, quote, will be a similar function to what Hutchinson had. That it won't be a big Google data center, where the cloud actually lives. It will be a special purpose for another function of a business. And I'm trying to
What's wrong with
sort
that?
those out.
What's wrong with that? I'm not being, what's wrong with that?
It's not the scale that we're talking about.
Okay.
I mean, there's a data center in Salina on East Iron Avenue that houses all of Salina Regional's records. It's not what I consider a data center, it's just their backup. It's a very
Right.
nondescript building. If you drive by it, and everybody's driven by it 100 times, don't know where it's at. I only know it's there because I used to work for Salina Regional.
Is it actually owned by Salina Regional?
Yes.
So it's their personal data
Right.
center?
It's their personal data center, and that's
We
similar to
wouldn't
what I
be-
ran into in Hutch.
We wouldn't be privy to anything like that. I mean, would we?
Yeah.
No.
I just think, it's definitely a viable option, but I think there's so many concerns that I wanna make sure that we don't
Mhm.
overlook anything.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Eyes wide open.
Yeah,
Because Saline County, I was at their planning commission meeting, and I think they're gonna put a moratorium on data centers just because they want to get regulations in place.
First.
Right, and I've talked to Truett about this, and the zoning committee is aware of this, and I think he said, didn't K-State, aren't they reworking some of our zoning? I thought that there was a contract. Do you remember that, Tammy?
Are they,
I believe
are they rewriting our unified development code?
I don't know if it's unified development code, but I remember Truett saying they had to, every so many years, they had to redo
Yeah.
zoning.
I think it's
I'm
called-
gonna use the word zoning regulations and hope that isn't the incorrect term, but it
Right.
very well could be
Yeah.
the
Right.
unified code.
But I think it will be addressed in that update, we'll call it. And if it's not, before we approve that, we need to ask them to incorporate the data centers, the modular reactors, the nuclear power, solar, batteries, all kinds of things, we need to address for the 21st century.
Yeah, so I think that, I guess keeping an eye on how they pass the Senate bill, or if they pass the Senate bill, or to be aware of all these concerns that they laid out. If they don't pass the Senate bill, then I guess we need to look and follow up with the zoning people to see if we have.
What was the number on that again?
It says 417.
417, SB 417.
And I asked Elaine about this specifically on Saturday, and she goes, well, I'm not sure that's the final one.
Yeah.
And so, but she said it's only passed the Senate and not through the House yet.
That's a scary thing, we see something like that, we don't see the final version, and then they will doctor it up, and then they'll pass it, and we don't know how it's going to affect us or what.
Yeah, so I didn't go through and highlight things, but they dictate a lot of control over data center. Actually, it wasn't specifically data center, it says, requirements for, it listed a whole bunch of things.
I think alternate energy might have been in there too.
Yeah,
And the scary part of that is they have that.
industrial energy facilities,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. They will have, that ability to do that, they'll regulate it if that bill passes, but then they've got a moratorium, if I understood correctly, on, that there is a 20-year moratorium on taxes for these type of industries from the state, so
That
if
they're
we're.
giving them, they don't have to have state income tax, is that what you mean?
State based
Or
tax.
do they, does that waive our property taxes?
We can require a payment in lieu of taxes, they call it a pilot.
Yeah,
If their taxes are gonna be $50,000 for 1 year, we could ask for 40 or 50 or whatever amount we would recommend, you know, depending on how big of a grant we would want to give them to come, their incentive to come to town,
right.
you know. And I personally would think a 20-year moratorium on that from the state's ridiculous, but they didn't ask me.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and that again is in my memory banks. I think that's probably fairly accurate,
Okay,
but it was a concern for me. You know,
yeah.
State's giving away the farm.
Yeah, well, I was grateful that, Tammy sent that out so I could show it to, and talk to her about it a little bit. I did go to that Egg Mart meeting last week.
Oh, yeah.
You had said it, that you were gonna go, and I was, oh, I thought you did, I'm sorry.
Well, I did, I've had some doctor's appointments and things.
Oh, okay,
come up.
well, anyway, I go, I forgot that big beautiful, they were discussing the
Yeah.
big beautiful bill at the K-State
I wanted
Extension
to go.
Office.
Yeah.
And, you know, they presented the changes that were in that bill and the potential increases in the, crop insurance subsidies. And they really encouraged all farmers to be aware of these changes before they selected their crop insurance for this year and going forward. So I just wanted to share that. Are you familiar with that, Scott, at all?
Yeah,
Okay, so they.
I've got a good agent.
They had a lot of young farmers there, which was very encouraging, you know, to be, and I know that we, all met independently with the John Schwartz and Tim Schwartz on, last Friday, and to see, I didn't go in to see the facility, but he said that when they have it completed, that they're gonna have an open house, so I was excited to hear that. But, I was riding in the airplane the other day, and I sat beside this guy who was investing in biomass energy production. So based on you know, you're doing this research for data centers, I said, I wonder what that is, biomass energy production. And he had said something about agricultural waste, and I said, well, we're in a rural county. Well, one of the things was swine waste for biomass. And so I asked Mr. Schwartz if they had considered using the swine waste to produce renewable natural gas. And he said that they didn't have to look into that because they have people offering them free land to use the animal waste. And I was like, wow. So I thought that was
Offering
kind
them free land,
of, what?
it's helping the farmer too.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was kind of interesting. He doesn't need to look into that
Right.
as a source of income related to that, so.
And that subject has come up in the North Central Regional Planning Commission.
A biomass?
Biomass.
Yeah, about
and-
ag land?
Yeah.
Ag
It
waste?
has. And I may have made a judgment or an error in judgment, but I don't know how much actually there's going to be around here. They had a map up and we were not a prime location for anything
Oh,
of that because, it could be livestock on, well, instead of livestock on milo stubble and so forth.
yeah, that's what I
They
thought
would
it
do
was.
that, yeah,
Uh-huh.
they would harvest that somehow and use that as bio-waste for this effort.
So were they saying, we have enough farm production, I wonder why we wouldn't be,
I think it might be utilized like that, you know, we have a lot of pasture, we have a lot of, around my neighborhood anyway, there are, and Scott, you may have a better idea. Milo stalks, corn stubble, you know,
Yeah,
most of them put cattle on it for,
Mhm.
yeah. That was my thinking, that's why I
Right.
didn't think we were prime contender for a biomass location.
probably not.
because they
Because-
consume it?
Yeah, it's utilized already. Now, if it was just laying there and they plowed it under, they disc it under and whatever, you know, if it's wasted, yeah, it's waste, then it's, I think it is.
Do you have a contractor from Scott Lloyd for us to sign?
I do. And the only other thing that, they shared that we haven't talked about with, Elaine Bowers and Dawn was that they said that they have, improved that homestead and tax freeze program, so just to encourage people to utilize that. And, and the fire was on Cabin Row where all the different fire departments went out, it was in Bennington. But, I heard that they pulled almost every single fire department in the area, so I'm so glad that they have that reciprocity. Were you out there, Carl, for that?
Our crew was.
you had a crew out there. So, anyway, I'm glad they kept that under control to that one property, right?
From my understanding, yeah.
Yeah. And the very last thing I wanted to say was, you know, going forward, can anything that we need to sign, can we have it in the agenda rather than presented at the meeting?
Well, that's up to you
I
guys.
know you try to do that, but can you encourage it? Because it's hard.
I do now, I encourage, if it's not my contract, you guys have the Scott Lloyd one in your packet.
Exactly. This week was a
Yes.
perfect week.
Yes, but, if it's from another department, that is up to you guys. You guys can tell me not to put someone on the agenda unless they have the documents.
I just really have a
That's
hard
up to you.
time, you know, signing a contract that I haven't read and without having it in the packet so I can read it over the weekend.
How does all the commission feel about that? Do you want, how do you want me to handle that if a department comes and wants to be on the agenda with a contract, but I don't get the contract before Thursday at noon?
You could include it in the packet then, couldn't you?
If I get it, I'm saying after Thursday.
Oh, after Thursday,
Probably need to wait.
yeah.
Okay, so I will tell them I'll have to wait to be on the agenda. Now, I can't control the people that come up and speak. You know, a lot of people pop in and,
Yeah.
so that was the other thing, sorry, I didn't get to say this. I did have Julie Govert-Walter come talk to me while you guys were talking about payroll, so it's happening. The 16th will not work, but she'll email me on what day she can come.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
So that's what was going on there.
As
So-
long, I think she's gonna work on it, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And that's my only comments. I sorry jumped in there.
Yeah.
Dwayne,
I
sorry.
don't have much other than went to the same places that Carla went.
Yeah. My
Well, not all of them. I went to the school and I went to the school ABI's deal for the coffee, legislative coffee, and met with Schwartz Farms.
Mhm.
That's about it.
Same thing I did. I've had conversations at home about the Golden Wheel and the provider. I know Julie mentioned that we were not a provider-based unit.
Provider meal, that was, yeah, provider
And
based.
I homed right
meal.
in on that, you know, that, because my familiarity with the school district and this provider they have that does that, I thought I was gonna call them and see if they could do a senior.
That was a,
center like
that was a really good idea when you brought up, I was thinking, yeah, maybe we could get the schools to
Mhm.
come in when we're,
Yeah, if we could work that out with them, you know, then, yeah, we're at the mercy of the provider, but I think they're going to have the standby cook, they're gonna have a sous chef or whatever you wanna call it, they're gonna be staffed and ready to handle this, and I'd like to see us get back to 70 or 80 meals a day, and some stability that our
that
seniors
seemed,
can
that
count on.
seemed really high when they quoted that number, because, that, when I looked at what they had reported in December and November, it was less than 400 per month, so I'm not, that must have been a while ago. But maybe we've had so much interruption though, this last year, especially, because we lost a cook,
Yeah.
then we got a cook, then we lost a cook,
Yeah,
then we got a cook.
we
then
need to show stability, I think, and the numbers will increase.
Yeah, I think deficit would increase too if they knew that. Of course, I don't know. It's getting smaller up there.
Well, so
Everybody's dying.
Delphus up there, you guys have, they serve meals up there certain days now?
No.
I think they're beginning at ABI.
Something they haven't opened the doors yet, but
I went up for the benefit lunch, and so but they aren't, they plan to provide meals to the community, some, at lunch?
Yeah, I think they're gonna be available from what I've heard.
yeah.
And then Scott's brother does it on Thursday at noon. They were talking Monday, Wednesday, Friday maybe for ABI. It wasn't gonna be every day, so it's,
Your
It's
brother
possible.
brother does a meal every once a week
Most generally, yeah. It's
At
Carol,
the-
my sister-in-law, Carol,
at where?
right there on the west side of the square in their building.
They have a building, a restaurant building?
To a certain, yeah.
Is that the same day as the sale barn?
the what?
Do you have a sale barn there?
We don't have no sale barn here. Salina.
They choose Thursday because,
That's
Just-
the day they picked, I guess. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know why. Probably. to adjourn at 11:25. Any discussion?
Yes. Tornado safety drill this coming Wednesday, and the Ottawa County Community Foundation's having their March match at Farm 7 to 9.
Is that a once-a-year thing?
Yes.
So it's 7 to 9, and it's this Friday night?
Right, this Friday night at the farm, and the 11th of March is Storm Spotter meeting at the courthouse, sponsored by our emergency manager.
Oh, wow, so is this his first meeting?
It will be, yep.
And the tornado one is when?
Tornado safety drill will be Wednesday the 4th.
Is this for the courthouse?
Statewide, I don't know how the courthouse
You
is
don't-
going to participate.
Do you have any idea, Tammy?
Nope, that would be through Jason.
So you're saying there's supposed to be a statewide tornado drill on Wednesday 4th?
Good.
They usually just set off the.
Set off the whistles and everybody dances.
Does everybody leave?
No.
No,
Typically not. I mean, the schools might do something, I have no
yeah, they
idea.
might, I don't know,
Typically businesses, whatever you carry on, but.
yeah.
So does a tornado sound different than the other sounds?
Solid, isn't
Long,
it?
solid one,
Yeah,
I mean,
long,
it's the
solid.
same siren.
Yeah.
So it's
Instead
a,
of waves, it's once per minute, I think.
Yeah.
and that's tornado?
Yeah.
Never gonna have one here.
And so will they do
Over the
that in
river?
all, like in Bennington too, because they have a siren?
Never gonna have
Anybody
one,
that has-
might have some high winds, might have some.
I say that's weather.
No
permitting,
tornadoes
if
are
it's-
coming here or
if it's
Delphus.
Tornadic activity in the area, they usually postpone it, so.
They
Yeah.
might not do it. Oh, I did have an executive session. We haven't closed out yet, have we?
No,
I'm
we're
sorry.
still discussing.
I'm sorry, you had a motion, but then you're discussing. Can I have an executive session for about 5 minutes?
I don't know by law, can we?
We
I
haven't
mean,
closed.
yeah, you guys haven't voted, so.
I can rescind my second.
No, I don't need
You guys haven't
What
voted.
day?
I am
So
so
I would-
sorry.
I would say, if you guys would vote down your, motion to adjourn.
Rescind your motion.
Okay,
That would be better.
I'll rescind the motion, or maybe all those in favor of adjourning say nay.
No?
No. No?
That's what I would do, I would vote it.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I just looked down and saw a note.
When do you guys got a contact for Schwartz?
Right there. Yep.
Or,
Do you
or
know what?
Jen-
I've been wanting to get with them, see if they'd be entertaining fire and EMS going up there.
Okay, let me just give you the right gal's name.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jody?
Jody?
Yeah,
Send me a text.
I'll text.
okay. Sounds good.
okay, thanks, Carl.
Good thinking, Carl.
So,
We need to know.
so, did we vote no?
Yes.
Pretty
Yes.
impressive
I
driving by
got,
right now.
You gotta
It is.
rescind?
It is, there'll be an open
Okay.
house too.
Okay, so I move that we go into executive session for non-elected personnel exemption to discuss non-exemption personnel for, okay, should I say 10 minutes, cause we always go longer, so I'll say 10 minutes, beginning at 11:27 for 10 minutes, returning to the commission room.
I'll second it.
Moved in second is to go into executive session for 10 minutes, for, what'd you say it was?
Non-elected personnel.
Non-elected personnel. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
and I'm not in it, correct?
Oh,
You want me in it? or
did I
no?
include Tammy Cox?
Okay.
Can I still say that?
Yeah.
Since we haven't started it yet?
I will still second it.
I'll
Second.
still second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Sorry.
No, that's okay, I wasn't sure, let me,
Then we'll have to return to open session to adjourn.
yes,
Exactly.
can I return anything off?
decision made.
Oh, I thought you're not ready for
We're
us,
going
are you?
to
Oh, to
extend.
extend.
Yeah.
Move to extend for 10 minutes. Have a discussion.
We just have to say extend, right?
Yeah.
Do we have to have a second on that?
Yes, it's a motion.
I'll second.
I'll make the second.
Oh, I thought you made the
You made
motion.
the motion?
Moved and seconded to extend for 10 minutes. All those in favor?
Aye. I was like, did you make the motion? Extension is easier.
All right, we're back up.
No decision made.
Now we can move to adjourn.
Was that a motion?
It is.
I will second that
Motion
motion.
second to adjourn at
10,
10,
11,
11:50.
40, yeah.
40, or 50, that's
All those in favor?
Alright.
Aye.
Aye. So you're gonna go see your grandkids? You have grandkids all week?
Yeah.
How many?